Nyaho! Nyaho, everybody! Hi. Hello, welcome in. We are so back. Nyaho heka, you got the first kisseroni. Let me grow. I still haven't fixed my stuff. I'm working on it. Don't look at that. Don't worry about that. Nothing happened. Everything's okay. Everything's fine. Everything is awesome. Everything is cool and party. Nyaho. Archaon. Thank you. Welcome in. Thank you for the recommendation. Welcome in. Hi, Atimo. Thank you for the bits. Nyaho, Atimo. Nyaho, Big E. Good late evening, Space Fish Lady. Hello. Hello, Big E. Nyaho, Suit. I have decided to come back and keep watching the funny Sushi 4K. Welcome back. We love to have ya. Nyaho, Festiniog fan. Nyaho. Hey, guys. We voted. You all voted. You were there. You were there voting. And we voted on Space Sharks or more Space Marines. You guys love your Space Marines, don't ya? Don't ya? It was close. Maybe next poll will only give 2. Because if it was Space Marines versus not Space Marines, we could have got there. But yeah, the girly pops were getting close. Maybe girly pops are orcs next poll. But yeah, thank you for voting. Thank you for telling me what you want to see. Thank you for the recommendations, and here we are. So I wanted to learn about the space sharks, right? And in learning about the space sharks, I was like, I should learn about what legion they came from. But we don't know. I learned that we don't know. I did learn, however, that maybe it was a Raven Guard. So we're gonna work our way there. We're gonna start by learning the Raven Guard. We're gonna learn the Raven Guard successor chapters, and then we're gonna get into the sharks. Yay!
New fishy
Thank you
alert.
for the follow.
How long to just swim until then?
Yeah, no too. Get Yippee! Time to see one of my favorite Space Marine chapters, the Space Sharks. Also, my boy Typhus the Red Wake. Are your orcs still there, or they started looting? My orcs are here. My good boys are still here. They're doing great. Thank you guys for hanging out yesterday at the orc making session. We're gonna see more of them next week, don't you worry. And we're gonna learn about them too. Let's learn about their lore. You know what? Next week we're learning about orcs. No poll. Orcs next week, girly pops the week after. I'm taking charge. And then we'll get back into Space Marines because there's enough Space Marines for me to grow old with you. I'm gonna be 80 and I'm gonna be like, now we're learning about this Space Marine chapter. And you're gonna love it. Tyberos the Red Wake is one of the coolest chapter masters in Warhammer. Hello, ADHD Andrew! Let's learn about him. The first video that we are going to be watching is by the Remembrancer. I know a lot of you love the Remembrancer. I've watched one of their videos before. They're pretty good. This video is going to go through the whole Raven Guard and then the Successors. Intro to the Raven Guard and then the Successors. So yeah, we're going to get really comprehensive. Are you ready to comprehend? Am I ready to comprehend? Let's find out together as a family. Big fish, big fish. Big fish in charge. I'm always moving the ribbon. Yeah. Good size for a fish? Okay. Raven Guard Successor Chapters. The Remembrancer. How about if you build a new faction, have some lore vids in the background? Oh. I don't think I can focus on building and learning lore. I did think about that slightly, but My brain doesn't work like that. May I send you perfect horror soundtrack for today. What do you mean horror? We don't do horror. Corvus! 19th Legion! Mass lethal. Mm-hmm. Sneaky. Some are sneaky. Oh. You think... the video is muted. Oh! God damn it.
Darkness.
Oh! Got it. Okay. That didn't happen. Let's do it again.
We strike. Fast and lethal.
Yeah, we are.
And by the time our foes can react, darkness there.
Thank you for wanting the
And
fish.
nothing more. The founding legions of the Adeptus Astartes are characterized by their disparate and often contrasting methods
Working
of
out,
waging
thank you.
war.
Thank you,
Some
Stillwolf.
legions
Thank
are
you,
renowned
Patrick.
for their
Thank you,
martial
Barky.
prowess, others for their expertise in siege warfare or
Thank you, Shooter.
fortification. Yet some legions, more than others, are maligned for tactics with which other Astartes might label as cowardly or dishonorable. For today, we shall be elucidating a founding legion, characterized not only by its unconventional tactics, but also immense struggle and ill fortune. The 19th Legion of the Adeptus
The 19th
Astartes, the
Legion!
Raven Guard.
Yuki, my shorts,
The
thank you for
history
the
of the 19th
sub.
Legion.
Itadakimasu.
Me Shorts just became a tier 1 sushi roll.
A tier 1 sushi roll. Okay, we're learning about the 19th under Corvus Corax. Raven Boy. Apparently they're unlucky. I seem to like it when they're unlucky.
Would be amongst the most persecuted and destitute of all the Legiones Astartes.
Legiones.
Drawn from holy terrors subjugated techno-savages of the Xeric tribes of the Dustfields of Asiatic. The savage tribesmen would skirmish against their neighboring Indoneski bloc for resources. With the Emperor's unification of terror, the tribes would give their firstborn sons to the Emperor's gene forges.
Give them my number.
To birth the Astartes of the 19th Legion. The 19th would serve as the Emperor's hidden hand of reconnaissance, sabotage, and assassination.
Oh.
Conducting...
Oh. He said reconnaissance, sabotage, and assassination, but the subtitles say reconnaissance, harrowing, and infiltration. Ugh. No, it should give them my number too. Yeah, Vex. Interesting.
Of reconnaissance, sabotage,
Sabotage.
and assassination. Conducting surgical, bloody engagements at the behest of the Master of Mankind, the 19th would quash the upstart rebellions and plots to dethrone the Emperor.
Guerrilla
Offering their
warfare?
foes the chance to capitulate before they would strike.
Ooh.
The Emperor would not employ his assassins.
I like these. These look like my ears. Don't you think? I like them.
Of war, alike to the 8th or savage 12th. Defeating would-be armies with only a single casualty These shadowy sentinels of the newly born Imperium would bleed dry their enemies without revealing their forces. Their very existence kept secret until their reunion with their Primarch Corvus Corax. Shunning adulation or marks of honor, such as the laurels of victory, the 19th would nonetheless earn many victories across the Sol system.
They didn't brag?
Yet during their
They're
engagement
humble.
with the Xenos threat on the Jovian range of the moon of Lysithia, many
Night
of
Lords
their
have the best
number
fashion.
would perish. For 2 centuries, the 19th Legion would wage war in the name of the Imperium, until finally, they would be united with their Primarch on the moon of Lysaeus.
They weren't with him for
For their
200
Gene Father
years.
had undergone many trials of his own.
What did Corvus do to you, Adrian?
Separated from the Emperor during the scattering of the Primarchs, Corvus's gestation pod would land on the barren moon of Lycaeus. Orbiting the forge world of Kievar, the system would be ruled by the tyrannical Tech Guild overseers. Raised by the slaves of the mining workforce, the infant Primarch would be hidden from the enslavers and guards of the mining colony.
Oh, he was
Learning
protected.
quickly due to his gene-forged providence, Corax would mature and develop speech, the skills to hide from his oppressors, and the ideals with which would formulate his personality. Due to his accelerated aging and maturation, the slaves of Lycaeus would idolize him as a gift to the downtrodden.
I didn't know that they accelerated their age in growing. Did I miss that? He smashed her house with his gestation pod. You live in Lysaeus? Can you teach me Warhammer from the very beginning? Yes. Pay attention. We're learning about Corvus Corax from the very beginning. Notice Corax rose among slaves and took over the planet. Angron was among slaves and almost had his ass handed over to him. He was a present. He was seen as a gift from above.
Naming him Deliverer and
Deliverer,
Savior in anticipation of his future deeds, the young Primarch would be tutored by his protectors and resolve to free them from their tyranny.
Oh.
Embodying notions of human dignity, justice, and liberty within his being, Corax would form a resistance to the tyrants of Kievar, and with time, overthrow their cruel regime.
Yeah, get him.
Moving unseen due to his preternatural gifts of stealth and infiltration, Corax would seize the moon of Lycaeus' weapon systems and bombard the overseer planet of Kievar with orbital atomic bombardments.
Raven,
At this
Raven,
moment,
that's him.
The Emperor
That's
of
so
Mankind
Raven.
would arrive within the Kievar system and reunite with his long-lost
Wait!
gene son.
That's so Raven, and he can gaze into the future? Conspiracy? Conspiracy? That's so Raven? Corvus Corax. The Dark Goddess of Slanesh is watching you. I hope they are. Angron was almost killed by an Eldar. He'd been through some stuff. Okay, guys.
Alone, the Emperor would speak with Corax for many long hours. With their audience
He spent
concluded,
time with Dad.
Corvus Corax would resume his campaign against the tech guilds of Kievar. For once they had been utterly destroyed, with no assistance from the Emperor, Corax would be proven worthy and assume the mantle of Master of the 19th Legion. The soon-to-be renamed Raven Guard. With the tech guilds of Kievar capitulating, and the moon of Lycaeus renamed Deliverance, the Mechanicum of Mars would rebuild the moon's infrastructure and construct a gargantuan looming tower, the Raven Spire.
We get it. Corax. We get it. You like birds. The Raven Spire. I'm glad he didn't name the moon the Raven Moon. He named it Deliverance. Kinda good.
With the 19th Legion under his command, Corax would reorganize the methods and tactics of his legion to his liking.
Birds.
Purging the old customs of the Terran Xeric tribes from the Legion's ranks, Corax would revile the Legion's history of oppression and occupation. Displacing the Terran senior officers with his new Lycaean Astartes.
I like their beak
Corax
helmets.
would
That's
refine
cute.
and perfect his Legion's expertise of stealth and unconventional strategies. So effective were his innovations that during a strategio simulacra to test his Legion, Corax would defeat his brother Primarch, Rabute Gilliman, during the simulation. Though after 2 subsequent victories, Corax would never again defeat the Master of Ultramar.
Okay, I was
as he
like, what?
adjusted and refined his counters to his strategies.
Okay, so Corax initially beat Rabute's Bute, but Rabute was like, not gonna do that again, brother. And then Corax never beat him again. Got it. Strategy simulation.
Further advancing and modifying the armaments and weapons of the Adeptus Mechanicus, the ingenuity of Corax would be shown with the introduction of the Shadowhawk gunship and
Shadowhawk
Mistcutter
gunship.
flyer. The Kievaran guilds now serving the Raven Guard, lending their ingenuity to construct unique and
Ooh,
tailor-made
he had
adaptations
allies.
specifically to favor the 19th Legion's tactics.
Cool.
Kievar now aided the Imperial war effort, if not by output, but as a stalwart forge world, specializing in many peculiar contraptions. Their ties to the Legio Gryphonicus further bolstering the Raven Guard with the aid of a Titan Legion loyal to the Primarch of the 19th.
Wow, this is their Titan? He beat him only in battles but never in war. Sounds like only one battle. The first one. And then after that, they're like, I just want to make you feel better. This is their Titan. Cute. Look at him. Needs more birds. Needs more birds. Pop quiz? Yes, AJ. Pop me with that quiz. Pop it, lock it, drop it. Angron killed an entire kill team of Eldar as a baby. He was then captured by the slavers once he was exhausted, claiming he was outdone by Corvus' deliberate deception. In Corax Primar's book, they speak about it. Rabute and Corax seem to be good friends. How many people needed to control a Titan? Oh, I don't know that. Have I ever learned that? Which size class? Oh, not their. This is not their Titan? Oh, whose Titan is this? Titan Legion loyal to the Primarch of the 19th. Oh, it's not their Titan. The Titans are just loyal to them. Okay.
Bringing worlds into compliance during the Great Crusade.
Okay, not their Titan.
It would be the Raven Guard and Corax, whom would be tasked with bringing into compliance a singularly important world, which would bear great significance to the future of humanity. The world of Istvaan III.
Istvaan III.
Destroying Istvaan III's military, unprovoked with various precision strikes, the Raven Guard would succeed in bringing the world into compliance. Despite some resistance, a delegation of Istvanians surrendered to the Raven Lord. Swearing to accept the teachings and ideals of the Imperium, the Istvanians would begin their integration with the civilian populace, left to integrate them into the fold. Dismantling the planet's religious traditions and assigning the planetary governor, Vardus Pral, to rule the world, the Raven Guard would be ignorant to the planet's destiny as...
Is this the beginning of Warhammer? How far in is this? Please don't yell at me. This is not the beginning. This is kind of middle, maybe? I don't know. But it's not the beginning. I think... Yeah. The beginning... So 40k is actually the year. Ren. So the beginning is 0. Yeah. So a Titan usually requires approximately a main crew of about half a dozen to run the controls, but dozens to hundreds of folks in the Titan depending on the size of the said Titan. One of his phrases was something like, I was freeing a world from slavery and Gilliman already built an Imperium. Oh. The Warhammer lore is 600 huge books. Knights have a single pilot, a Titan needs at least 2, usually more. Books, I'm out. No! Both Corax and Conrad are similar that they both use Terra Tactis, but one is more brutally violent than the other. We're midpoint of the timeline. This is the middle. This is the middle. The beginning is -3 million. Okay, it's not 0. The beginning, -3 million. I'm Sakana. What am I miss? We're learning about Corvus Corax and his Raven Guards.
The staging ground for humanity's greatest betrayal. Further aiding the newly appointed War Master, Horus Lupercal, during the compliance of the Battle
Big
of
Titans
Gate
can hold
42
1,000 people.
within the Orcum Sophis cluster. Brought to compliance originally by the Lunar Wolves, the people of the cluster had fallen to a mass psychosis of Xenos origin, The Xenos parasites would mature within the eye sockets of their victims and gain rudimentary control of their hosts with maturation.
Corax was also one of the few Primarchs who could reflect on their faults. That's good. My boy Corvus. The betrayal of Istvaan was the start of the Horus Heresy in the 30th millennia, so 30k main Warhammer is 40k, and it's yours and mine timeline, with the year 0 having seen that noobish oh, got it. Over 400 books, so buckle up, Ren, it's time to read. Okay, so this is the start of the Horus Heresy in the 30th millennia, so we're not even in 40k right now, we're in 30k, okay? We didn't start 40k, so technically it's the beginning of 40k. I cried when the Horus Heresy. I never cried at any game, maybe Halo. What game did you learn about the Horus Heresy?
Forming a hive mind consciousness, these hosts would be dubbed the Unsighted Kings, to which Horus Lupercal would swear an oath of moment to reclaim his once compliant world. Seeking to prove himself worthy of his new title, the War Master would call to his aid the Space Wolves, Iron Warriors, and Raven Guard in their campaign against the Unsighted Kings.
Okay.
As Horus assigned the Raven Guard to assault the forces of Gate 42, Corax would denounce the strategy as a waste of lives and resources, and propose to lead his men to carry out a series of feints to draw out their enemy.
Okay.
The Primarch
Okay. So Horus was like, I need you guys to form a bigger squad. And then he was like, okay, Corax, I need you to go here. And Corax was like, actually, I don't think that's good. I want to do this instead.
The Iron Warriors, Perturabo, would scoff at the plan, almost causing the two
I'm Apple.
brothers to clash. Yet it would be Leman Russ, Primarch of the Space Wolves, whom would prevent blood being spilled.
Oh. So Corax was like, I want to do this. And Perturabo was like, that's dumb. I'm going to fight you. And then Lemon was like, don't fight anybody. When Russ is the reasonable one. That's crazy. The wolf guy's the reason. The wolf guy's stopping the fight. That's crazy. There's a big Warhammer 40k wiki, Lexicanicum. Start reading that.
Russ, Primarch of the Space Wolves, whom would prevent blood being spilled. Counseling the Raven Lord, Russ would beseech Corax to heed the words of Horus. For after all, he had been chosen by the Emperor to preside above all of his brothers.
Russ was like, I hear you, Corax, but Dad said that Horus is in charge, so we gotta listen to Horus, okay? I know, you have ideas, but Horus is in charge. Which YouTuber is this? This is the Remembrancer.
As War Master, mustering his forces, Corax would assault Gate 42, assigning most of his vanguard to comprise of the Terran-born Astartes in order to sacrifice his less favored sons. Regarded as the Raven Guard's bleakest battle in history up to this point, the 19th Legion's assault companies would be decimated. The cost of taking the gate, the lives of thousands of Raven Guard Astartes. Horus would slay the Unsighted Kings, dispelling their hold over the populace. Yet with so many lost.
Well, I guess Horus was right because they won, but we lost a lot of Raven Guard. Corax, like Vulcan, cares about humans. What a guy. Dad said Horus' time on the Xbox. Dad said Horus is the Xbox master, okay? He's the party leader. He decides where we're dropping, boys. If you look at Corvus and Conrad, they look very similar to each other, both with pale skin, black hair, black eyes, plus both their signature weapons were power claws. Ooh, moody boys. Moody, dark, emo boys with claws. Somebody said last stream that Conrad and Corvus taught them the difference between emo and goth. Was this battle before or after Horus turned? Oh, good question. Corax very much feels like the little brother of the Primarchs. Wait, why are you banned on Disky? What the heck?
The Raven Guard now stood as the smallest in number of the legions at 80,000 Astartes.
Corax hated being compared to Conrad.
Removing himself from the command of the War Master, Corax would swear never to fight alongside Horus Lupercal again.
Oh, he was like, yeah, we might have won, Horus, but F you. All my guys died. I'm never fighting with you again. Horus used them in a frontal assault for glory when the Raven Guard specialized in stealth. They could have won without the assault. Yeah, that's what Corax wanted. He wanted to be stealthy, but Horus was like, no. They think I'm 13 because I won't scan my face passport. Oh, no. Iron Warriors would have been better for frontal assault. It's literally their deal. So why'd they pick the Raven Guard? Curtis was the one who killed less people yet conquered more. The Primarch with the least blood on his hand.
Yet as a result of the culling of the Raven Guard's Terran-born Astartes, the Legion's warrior lodges would diminish, with Horus's hold of the Legion as a result, all but cleansed. As the Great Crusade waged on, the Raven Guard would be honoured with trialling a new pattern of Astartes armour.
New
One
armor.
which would not only become synonymous with the 19th Legion, but also the subsequent civil war for humanity. Due to their depleted numbers, the Raven Guard would be the obvious choice to outfit with this new armor specification, despite the misgivings of Primarch Perturabo.
Oh, so Horus was already turned at that point then. They picked the Raven Guard to get the Raven Guard killed. So Horus wanted them killed. But everyone didn't know that he was turned, so they were like, trust big bro Horus. Dad put him in charge. Ah. And only Corax was like, none of this makes sense. Got it.
With this new armor specification. Despite the misgivings of Primarch Perturabo, the Mark VI pattern of power armor would be a resounding success. Improving upon the design, the Raven Guard would see to the mass production and approval of the Mark VI design.
Mark VI
For their
Raven Guard.
service,
Oh!
the design would be dubbed the Corvus pattern,
Aww.
and be distributed amongst every Astartes Legion. Yet in many regards, this honor would be overshadowed with the armor's most significant legacy being its widespread use during the cursed Horus heresy. Upon the world of Istvaan free, Horus Lupercal would launch his scheme to overthrow the Imperium, laying waste to his own legion's loyalist elements and those of other traitor legions. The Emperor, upon receiving the news of the betrayal, would send forth a fleet to destroy the fledgling usurper. At the
Not on
spearhead,
my watch,
3
Horus.
loyalist legions would lead the charge: the Iron Hands, Salamanders, and Raven Guard.
Yeah, he's like, you know, guess who doesn't like Horus? Corvus, get your ass in here. When you start the heresy, you gotta watch this. Yes, we'll go into the heresy. Don't worry. Russ, the loyalist Primarch who did the most good for Horus's campaign. He was just trying to be a little guy.
Legions would lead the charge: the Iron Hands, Salamanders,
Salamanders!
and Raven Guard. Unleashing righteous fury in the name of the Emperor, the initial assault of 3 legions would be further bolstered by the Iron Warriors, Night Lords, Word Bearers, and Alpha Legion. As 7 legions would descend upon the traitorous and self-depleted forces of the War Master, victory would be assured. Yet as the second wave of reinforcements would make planetfall, the loyalists of the 10th...
What makes things really sad is Ferris was put in charge and beforehand had been offered a place in Horus's campaign by his best bro Fulgrim. Oh, rippies.
As the second wave of reinforcements would make planetfall, the loyalists of the 10th, 18th and 19th Legions would be betrayed. Caught in the crossfire of 8 traitor legions, the loyalists would be massacred. Ferrus Manus, Primarch of the Iron Hands, would be slain, with Vulcan,
Rippies.
Primarch of the Salamanders, being captured. Their
Vulcan.
legions would be left in disarray, with only Corax remaining in command of his legion. It would not be enough to counterattack the traitors. Despite fragments of the now shattered legions escaping the Istvaan system, with Corax amongst their number, all 3 legions would be utterly crippled.
No.
From 80,000 Astartes, the Raven Guard now stood at barely 3,000, beaten, jaded, and demoralized survivors.
80,000 to 3,000? Oh my goobus. Damn.
Corax would be injured during the massacre,
Injured?
yet salvage what Astartes he could from the bloodshed.
But he still saved his boys?
Attempting to rapidly rebuild his legion, Corax would travel to the Sol system and commune with the Emperor, and be given knowledge of the existence of chaos and the intent of Horus's rebellion.
This is where Corax learned. This is what he learned. Dad told him. He was like, Dad, all my guys are dead. What the heck? And Dad was like, son, there's something I need to tell you. Sit down. Sit down. And he tells him of the chaos. And he tells him what Horus is doing. It's understandable why Corax is mega depressed. Yeah, same. Stories of some loyalists of traitor legions or from the loyalist chapters are great stories of revenge and payback to the traitors. Ooh.
Aiding Corax with the revelation that the genetic materials of the Primarchs resided within a secret facility within Terra's Himalayan mountains. Retrieving
Dad told
the
him, but
genetic
not
materials,
Magnus. True.
Corax would attempt to mass recruit new initiates into the Legion with the use of the so-called Magna Mater of the Primarchs. Initially successful in developing 500 Astartes into the fold of the 19th Legion, the efforts of Corax and his apothecary, Vicente VI, would tragically be foiled with the intervention of the cunning Alpha Legion. Tampering with the materials using a demonic virus, the 2,000 aspirants transformed from such stock would become horribly mutated with horns, talons, and other maladies. Further escalating Corax's problems, the Alpha Legion had now infiltrated the Raven Guard, causing mistrust and screening to further delay his legion's renewal. With his attempts to rebuild his legion in ruins, Corax would realize his plans to replenish the Raven Guard had been a mistake.
Oh.
And so, after screening the Alpha Legion's infiltrators from their ranks, Corax would accept that the Legion would continue as they always had, with their slow, painstaking methods of recruitment. Yet with such resolve, Corax knew that to face the traitors, he would need to devise a new plan of action.
Okay, so he lost 77,000 of his guys. He was like, we gotta make new guys quick. He tried to make new guys. Someone came in and was like, F your new guys. Mutated all of them. And he was like, okay, this is not gonna work. We gotta go back to the original plan, slow and steady to make our guys. And that's how we come out on top. This is just about Corax and the Raven Guards. This is not about the heresy. This is only about the Raven Guards and their successor chapters. Yeah.
Lacking enough firepower to face the traitors en masse, the Raven Guard would attack the supply convoys, weapons deliveries, logistical headquarters, shipping yards, and worker camps of the traitors, denying the War Master useful if not crucial supplies intended for his final assault of the Siege of Terra.
Wait, the Raven Guard were among the first legion to test the Mark V Corvus pattern power armor, the armor with the beak-shaped helmet, and when the orcs first encountered Space Marines, they called them beakies. Wait, that's cute! Beakies! Beakies!
Quarters, shipping yards,
I
and
love
worker camps
orcs.
of the traitors, denying the War Master useful if not crucial supplies intended for his final assault of the Siege of Terra. The Raven Guard would continue to sabotage the traitor war effort as best they could until its resolution during the final battle between the Emperor and Horus. With the traitors repelled from Holy Terra, the Raven Guard would be reorganized into a founding chapter of the now ordained Successors of the Codex Astartes. For decades, the now chapter of the Adeptus Astartes would rebuild. Undermanned and without purpose, the 19th would further hone and perfect their doctrines of war. Welcoming the decision to divide the legions of Astartes into chapters, Corax would regardless seek vengeance against the traitors alone.
He's not letting them get away with
After a
it.
solar year of grief-stricken penance for his actions during the Horus heresy, locked within the Raven Spire, Corvus Corax would depart deliverance. Disappearing from the Imperium, Corax would venture into the Eye of Terror in his quest for retribution. The last words uttered from the Primarch to his sons prior to his departure: nevermore.
Of course it would
As
be
the
nevermore.
millennia have waned Without the
Quoth
word
the
of their
Raven.
Primarch's return, the Raven Guard would spend much of its time campaigning across the eastern fringe of the galaxy. Now led by their chapter master, Kayvan Shrike, the 19th's might is now split amongst the stars as several covert battalions poised to face the enemies of his Imperium. The ultimate objective of such scattered campaigns, known only to the Master of Shadows. The gene seed of the Raven Guard would be greatly diminished due to the events of the Horus Heresy. Attempting to hasten the replenishment of their broken legion, the Raven Guard's gene seed sabotage by the Alpha Legion would lead to further problems with each new generation of the Raven Guard. Drawing much of their genetic material from Holy Terror, the transformation of aspirants into the Adeptus Astartes is arguably more difficult than any other Loyalist chapter. Irrespective of the 19th's countless casualties resulting in their harsh training, those aspirants whom survive their training will receive transplanted organs with a high rate of degeneration. The vast majority of organs implanted within the Raven Guard do not function properly, with many implants, such as the mucranoid organ, which regulates their endurance of hazardous temperatures and the vacuum of space, failing to mature. As a result,
They're
the
doomed!
Raven Guard bear the mutation of chapter-wide pale skin pigmentation, due to their melanochromic organs' inability to reliably adjust to solar radiation.
Oh.
Pure white in aesthetic, it matters not whereby the recruits to the chapter hail from, as all who survive their gene implantation shall become pale as wraiths, with pure black hair and eyes, as is characteristic of their gene stock. Further resulting from their genetic deficiencies, the 19th also bear the so-called curse of their Primarch, the lure of the shadows. Reserved in demeanor, if not antisocial in their behavior, the Raven Guard are terse in their communication. As the curse progresses, 3 stages of the Astartes character shall become evident.
They
First,
really are emo. Dang. Corax is currently harassing Lorgar in the warp. Even after 10,000 years, orcs still call all Space Marines beakies, even when most don't wear beak-shaped helmets. You know what? And they stuck to it. They were like, once a beaky, always a beaky. 3 stages!
3 stages of the Astartes character shall become evident. First, the Battle Brother will become more reclusive, choosing to fight amongst only small strike teams, and shall become resistant to joint chapter operations involving direct assaults and tactics.
We gotta stay
verging on
sneaky.
objectively disobedient refusal to follow orders. Second, the Astartes shall become ever more brooding, with their dealings not only of other chapters, but also their brethren, skulking in shadows, choosing to remain silent until absolutely necessary, and manifesting an aura of unease amongst his squadron.
Stay
Finally,
edgy.
the Raven Guard Astartes shall grow to despise even his most stalwart of battle brothers, believing his tactics and decisions outweigh the merit of his peers, even should more experienced or battle-tested Astartes' strategies objectively bear greater results. Recruitment within the Raven Guard is amongst the slowest.
Okay. Step 1. Stay sneaky. Step 2. Stay brooding. And step 3. You're the best. And no one's better than you. And that's the Raven Guard. Right? Yeah.
Greater results. Recruitment within the Raven Guard is amongst the slowest within the Loyalist chapters of the Adeptus Astartes, yielding high casualty
Nobody
rates
wants
due
to be a
their
beaky?
combined training regimes and failure rate of their organ transplantations.
right.
The Raven Guard have never truly recovered from their ignominious fall during the Horus Heresy. Spending an inordinate amount of time as members of the chapter's scout company, each batch
Step
of
4,
recruits
be great
are
at hide and
accompanied by
seek.
several
Stay
veterans
sneaky.
to observe and mentor their progress. Never mobilized at full strength as outlined by the Codex Astartes, the Raven Guard would struggle to muster a force capable of matching the strength of their first founding brethren, recruiting their aspirants solely from their homeworld of deliverance. The need to transport genetic materials from Holy Terror on a regular basis would also contribute to their slow replenishment of numbers. However, due to the Raven Guard's preference and unmatched skill in stealth, sabotage, and infiltration, Their casualties in war would be below the average incurred by other Astartes chapters.
Okay.
Trained by
Okay.
the
High death rate in becoming one, but once you're in longer than everybody else. Once you just get through all of that, everything's gonna be fine. What do you call a beaky low on oil? A blinking beaky? Literally Spartans.
chapter's Shadow Masters, or the Ravenspire.
A blinky
Aspirants of
binky?
the 19th are taught in the methods to move silently, with minimal detection.
A squeaky beaky.
Despite their objectively bulky armor, the Raven Guard display the uncanny ability of wraith slipping within the labyrinths of the Ravenspire. Packing their armor with earth and rags of fabric, the aspirants learn to muffle the sounds of their armor until they are capable of mastering the secret rites of silence employed by every battle brother of the Raven Guard. Constantly training and understanding the art of wraith slipping, every Astartes of the chapter is required to maintain their understanding of this formidable art, lest they erode their mastery of its techniques. Though not infallible, the recruits will come to understand that such near-perfect camouflage and concealment is the hallmark of any veteran of the chapter. The initial formation of the 19th Legion
Ninjas, they're
would be
ninjas.
comprised similar to its Unification-era contemporaries.
That's true about the Raven Guard, but few others have Space Marines that are 500 to 2,000 years old, but that's for another time. Right. Raven Guard, along with Salamanders, Space Wolves, and Blood Angels, don't have the most stable gene seed. Yeah. Rough.
Divided into chapters, each containing battalions, companies, and finally squads. Most individual Astartes would identify their service to the Legion by denoting their role within a company instead of their chapter. With the reunion of their Primarch and the Imperium of Man, the 19th would incorporate tank warfare into the Legion, though their use would dwindle with their resultant decimation during the Horus Heresy. Numbering only 4,000 Astartes by the end of the Horus Heresy, the Raven Guard would reorganize the companies into Talons, Falcons, and light vehicle and air support squadrons into Hawks. Fielding many specialist squads and formations, the Raven Guard deployed a preponderance of reconnaissance squads in comparison to their cousin legions, also employing a large contingent of Moritats, Astartes who bore suicidal tactics in their methods of battle, and would conduct more assassination and sabotage missions than any other contemporary legion. Though employing librarians during the Great Crusade, with the Edict of Nicaea, Corvus Corax would agree to disband his legion's librarius. Reassigned as frontline troops, the librarians of the Legion would never fully recover due to the events of the Istvaan 5 Dropside Massacre, culling the majority of their number. Commanded solely by senior officers originating from Deliverance by the time of the Horus Heresy, Corax would loosely overrule his lieutenants due to his nature of valuing candid and honest counsel. Not willing to be treated alike to his brother Primarchs, Corax would expect his men not to serve him as a serf would to a tyrant. Protected by his loyal Shadow Wardens, the Honor Guard of the Legion, Corax would devise further specialist ranks to be employed within the Legion. Amongst the first company, the Mordaefan would serve as the elite reconnaissance and scouts of the 19th. Nicknamed the Shadow Masters, these members of the Raven Guard would, alike to their Primarch, be able to shadow walk. The ability employed by their Primarch to walk amongst mortals seemingly unnoticed.
The
Wielding
most
chainsaws,
sneaky.
bolt pistols, sniper rifles, and on rare occasions,
Snipers!
bolt-tight armaments, the Mordaefan would communicate using strange whispers known as Stalk Argot. Said battle candle sighs and whispers would be to the untrained ear alike to gusts of wind or environmental sounds. With use of
They have a secret whisper language that sounds like wind, and it's like, I'm gonna kill your ass, and all they hear is woo. I like it.
surviving past the Istvaan 5 Dropside Massacre, the Mordaefan would seemingly disappear as their numbers dwindled. The Deliverers would comprise the Legion's dreadnought contingent. Due to their inability to conduct the subtle arts of war employed by the Raven Guard, these dreadnoughts would be deployed only when all attempts at sabotage and stealth would fail.
They're the
Often
big
sent to
guns, the
distant
big
Crusade
guns.
fleets and engagements, these units would bear little favor from their Primarch. The Shadow Killers would result from veterans of the Legion succumbing to the intense stress of the battlefield. Afflicted by the so-called sable brand of their eyes becoming pure black in color, these unfortunate Astartes would seek relief only in causing as many casualties by their hand as possible. Frenzied and lacking all sense of self-preservation, the Shadow Killers would on occasion recover, but more reliably further descend into suicidal rampages. Such units would be seen in other legions of the Astartes, whom would be labelled by Rabute Guilliman as Moritats. Dark Fury assault squads would conduct brutal assassination strikes against their enemies. By no means subtle in their application of violence, the Fury assault squads would attack high-value targets, whilst the wider legion waged war. Armed with lightning claws, they would tear
Lightning
their enemies
claws.
to shreds and deploy Darkwing pattern Storm Eagles and Whisper Cutters to close the distance to their targets.
Lightning claws!
Due to the chapter's doctrines of concealment and espionage, the Raven Guard do not employ embellishments or gaudy designs upon their armor. Encased in jet black armor,
No
suited to
deco.
aiding them in their concealment within the shadows. The 19th complied to the outlines of the Codex Astartes, with only minor alterations in its overarching guidelines. Despite their proclivity to obfuscate or remove their heraldry during engagements with more canny adversaries, the Raven Guard would diminish their command markings and squad identifiers in the wake of the second founding. As a Codex-compliant chapter of the Adeptus Astartes, the Raven Guard divide their numbers into 10 100-man strong companies. Officers within the chapter would be commanded by the captains, known as Shadow Captains, with each chapter master, following the departure of the Raven Lord, assigned the title of Master of Shadows. Proudly displaying their chapter iconography of the Raven on their left pauldrons, their shoulder plates trim, no matter their rank, shall always remain the purest of black.
Always black.
Their right pauldron displays their squad specialization, such as close support, fire support, veteran, or command staff. Though the 19th's fire support sigil differs from other Codex-compliant chapters by the symbol of an explosive detonation. Their right pauldron's trim denotes their company, with white reserved for the Elite First Company. Other colors include gold for the 2nd, red for the 3rd, green for the 4th, black for the 5th, bronze for the 6th, purple for the 7th, silver for the 8th, and blue for the 9th. Squads are designated in low Gothic numerals on the left knee plate. Rank is denoted by helmet designs, denoted by skull iconography and color coding. Sergeants bear a simple skull on the crest of their helmet, whilst veteran sergeants retain their skull icon and paint their helmets white. Lieutenants bear a red and white stripe pattern on their helmets and an ornate design on their right pauldron, while Shadow Captains resemble the white skull-adorned helmets of the veteran sergeants, with the addition of an ornate captain design on their right pauldron. Some high-ranking senior officers paint their shoulder plates purest white, and on rarer occasions, pair these with white paint on both of their arms. Yet for every design or signifier of rank, the Raven Guard also employ heavily encoded Auspex signifiers into their armor designs, allowing for their battle brothers autosensors to identify senior officers during their concealment. Though within these outlinings of heraldry, there also exists a unique signifier for the chapter's elite.
The drip!
The black Ravenclaw symbol adorns the right pauldron with a white background. Reserved for the most venerated and long-serving veterans, this marking denotes Astartes of the chapter, renowned for their guerrilla warfare and versatile command experience. Following the outlined strategies and guidelines of the Codex Astartes, the Raven Guard eschew several tactics outlined by the tome, due to their preference for waging war and limited deployable force. Experts of guerrilla warfare, attritional warfare, and coordinated strikes, the Raven Guard target weak points in enemy defenses, and with speed, cripple the enemy by destroying high-valued infrastructure and targets. Unwilling to engage in reckless assaults that could endanger their Astartes, the 19th rely heavily on their scout marines in gathering information during reconnaissance missions.
We only have so many
Deployed in
left.
small squads, rather than the full might of the chapter, each captain and their companies fight independently from one another. Regardless of the oversight of their chapter master, each Raven Guard company offers aid to Imperial forces as required. Often criticized for their tactical efficacy due to their loose authority for command, the Raven Guard nonetheless exemplify incredible discipline when commanded by their captains. Deploying several rapid maneuver vehicles in combat, such as land speeders, attack bikes, and Thunderhawk gunships, The Raven Guard support these elements with drop pod insertions of dreadnoughts and highly favour aerial assaults via jump packs.
Where those
An
ravens come
infantry
from.
heavy chapter,
And
their
they just got
preference for
ravens.
speed and manoeuvrability precludes their use of heavy armour such as predator tanks or land raiders, yet some are held in reserve should they be needed. A mix of special forces units and mechanised infantry, the Raven Guard field overwhelming aerial superiority during engagements to enable surgical
'Cause they
strikes
fly.
behind enemy lines. Often armed with lightning claws,
Like
Raven Guard
birds.
kill teams offset their opposition's numerical superiority by targeting their commanders.
Ooh, they go straight for the
Conducting many
big
rituals in their
cheese.
homeworld of deliverance. Each neophyte of the 19th must embark on a meditative trance to hunt the avians of the world of Kievar. Utilizing wraith slipping, the neophytes must hunt the ravens of Kievar unnoticed before snatching one up and snapping its neck. The skulls of their prey are then worn as totems hung from small chains around their necks.
Oh,
or
that's where the
right
drip is
pauldrons.
from.
These Raven Calvaria represent the Astartes warriors' honor, and should they fall in battle, are collected, similar to the ancient Terran dog tags. Those whom recover these totems shall carry them into battle for their fallen.
The only drip they have are those skulls. Yalzim is Zenith here. Zenith, you are being called. You are being called.
Fallen brothers, until they shall return to Kievar and bury the skull in the soil of their chapter's homeworld.
Oh,
Fallen
they don't
Raven
keep the
Guard
drip forever.
Astartes are stripped of their armor, weapons, and gene seed to continue their service to the Legion. The bodies of the fallen 19th left for the carrion of battle, a feast for their venerated namesakes. Despite their reverence to their Primarch Corvus Corax, the Raven Guard do not show the same fervor to the Emperor of Mankind, unlike most of their contemporaries. The 19th follow in their Primarch's footsteps, learning from every battle the lessons to be employed to continue the survival of their chapter. Abhorring the tactics of needless shedding of blood akin to the 9th Legion, or the principled yet boisterous blunt force of the 7th, the Raven Guard see the tactics and doctrines of their peers to be unrefined and callous. Their glory would be earned not in the wholesale slaughter of their foes, the rivers of blood slicking from their blades, or the compliance of worlds under their heavy armored boots. Instead, their glory would be in the honor of preserving their brethren, whilst efficiently culling their enemies in methodical and swift engagements. Bearing rivalries, grudges, and even outright contempt for many of their cousin chapters, the Raven Guard set themselves apart as the brooding yet stoic warriors of the Primarch's example. For a blade in the dark is best stayed until the perfect moment to strike presents itself, and should that moment not manifest, all that is required is to retreat, re-strategize, and lie in wait for the next chance to strike. We go where we wilt. We slay who we wilt. Let the Emperor judge the righteousness of our deeds.
I don't know a lot about the Raven Guard other than they have emo haircuts. They are the emo stealth boys. They are patient, they're sneaky, they're quiet, and they're gonna get you. They care about the quality of their missions, not the quantity of their guys, because they want to keep the most guys they have.
The Black Guard are a second founding successor chapter of the Raven Guard.
We're getting into the successor
Founded
chapters.
by the commander of Primarch Corvus Corax's honor guard, Gareth Arendi.
Gareth
The
Arendi.
dubious master of the Shadow Wardens left behind a legacy of uncompromising duty, no matter the
They listen to Jimmy Eat World and Hawthorne Heights. That's so true. Do you feel like they're in the middle right now? I do.
cost it should entail. Deriving their name from the Black Guard created during the Horus Heresy, following Arendi's actions saving his genesire's life during the Day of Vengeance, the chapter bears immense pride for their forefathers' actions. With the Horus Heresy concluded, the Raven Lord departed into the Eye of Terror, and mere centuries following their founding, the Black Guard began to show signs of decay.
Oh no.
Their gene seed causing several of their organs to malfunction. Such afflictions do little to hamper their ability to conduct ambush maneuvers against their foes.
Okay, they're still
Venerated
sneaky.
for their service during the campaigns of Doom Gorge and Abaddon the Despoiler's 13th Black Crusade. Though many of their peers disdain their past, their actions made to defend the Imperium are unquestionable. Clad in white power armor, flanked by black pauldrons, helmets and gauntlets, the chapter utilizes red chest aquillas and tactical designations on their right pauldrons.
Ooh.
Stenciling white low Gothic numerals on the center of their squad designations.
A small force of Raven Guard once got stuck on a world filled with orcs, but after months, the Raven Guard were killing orcs without being seen, and the orcs were wondering why they were losing so many orcs. I love that. Hey, Sakana, what's the Raven Guard's favorite rock band? My Chemical Corax. I love it.
As a semi-codex compliant chapter, the Black Guard adorn their knee plate with its outlined color schemes to identify their company. The symbol of their chapter, a red circlet bisected by a white lightning bolt, and roundlet on a field of black, epitomizes their use of overwhelming
Firepower!
Their proclivity to deploy artillery batteries, such as Thunderfire cannons and Vindicator tanks, lays waste to their enemies. For one can find clear evidence of the chapter's campaigns by virtue of the cratered ruins left in the wake of their onslaughts. Stop blindly obeying the words of the book and look at the situation. You have completed your training, but you must now learn to apply it. Regurgitation is not the answer.
Ooh, I was really excited about this. I'm really excited about this chapter. But hold on, I gotta put some bread in my oven. This is not a euphemism. I want to eat bread. And it takes a long time. If there's no one alive to see you, then you're still hidden. True, and they know that. My bread is in. My bread is cooking. Have you reacted to any of Luton's video? They're a good watch, but they're quite in-depth and usually an hour. I have! I reacted to Luton in my first reaction. And Luton's on the list for some other things to react to as well. Raptors, my beloved! Okay, let's go.
And look at the situation. You have completed your training, but you must now learn to apply it. Regurgitation is not the answer. Simple analysis and thought must be used to solve the problem.
What kind of bread is it? Just regular white bread, I assume? Why would you assume that? It's a sweet potato bread that looks like a sweet potato, but it's a bread. Yeah. My favorite of his is The Horror of the Rofanin Rebellion. Never heard of it. There's a 2-hour Luton video. Sign me up.
The Raptors.
The
Are a
Raptors!
second founding successor chapter of the Raven Guard. Founded in the wake of the Horus Heresy, this pragmatic band of warriors are said to have been drawn from the raw recruits of Deliverance, thrust into the Great Civil War following the Dropside Massacre of Istvaan 5. Spared the mutations wrought from the Raven Lord's attempts to rebuild his legion by use of the Primarch genetic materials tampered with by the Alpha Legion. The Raptor Company earned valor in battle during
They weren't mutated.
of the traitors. Granted autonomy as a successor chapter of the 19th, following the implementation of Astartes reforms.
The Raptors are
outlined
the
by
only Space
Primarch
Marines that use
Uday
modern-day
Gilman.
military
The
tactics.
Raptors began to lay the foundations of their warrior creed.
Veterans love the Raptors.
Records suggest that
And they're
early
green.
service during the 31st millennium was facilitated as a fleet-based chapter as they embarked upon the stars, rooting out heresy. Earning renown for their effective and measured methods of waging war, within but a few centuries, the Raptors were bequeathed their own homeworld within the Segmentum Obscurus,
Ooh!
within close proximity to the accursed Eye of Terror.
Okay,
tasked
they're
with
close.
patrolling the
Close to
warframe,
Dad.
though not assimilated into its guardians, the Astartes Praesus. For many millennia, the chapter cast back the tide of darkness, alongside its stalwart allies. Yet the galaxy is replete with many malevolent beings, and with time, the homeworld of the Raptors was sundered by the acts of the War Master of Chaos, Abaddon the Despoiler. It is
Abaddon.
unclear whether such an event transpired during the 4th or 5th of the Despoiler's Black Crusades, and all that can be gleaned is its destruction between the 34th and 36th millennium. The chapter's repositories of knowledge, ancient relics won through toil, and most valuable armaments lost. Many a lesser band of warriors would buckle under the strain of such catastrophe, and during the 37th millennium, all trace of the Raptors disappeared from Imperial records.
Where'd they go?
Presumed at worst extinct, and at minimum lost for all time. For 2 millennia, no account can be found of this mysterious
2
force.
millennia?
Yet during the Caberiad Wars of the 39th millennium, the Raptors returned.
Where were they?
Replenished to their full strength despite their grievous losses. None know the methods nor means of their resurgence, yet were proud to see such a gloried chapter return to the fold. Claiming a new homeworld to establish their new fortress monastery during the conflict,
They were
regarded
camping
simply
in
as
Spawn.
Prime. The Raptors made full use of the system's imperial supply
Suspicious.
lines to facilitate victory in the name of the Emperor. Traversing to the northern border of the Segmentum Solar, following the Caberiad Wars, the chapter to this day operates from the world known by
Yeah, the
many
Raptors like
titles,
drip.
such as Badwater, Ra, Cortes Pol, and Numina. Its location not disclosed by the chapter to the Adeptus Administratum. All that is known of the planet is its location somewhere within the stellar drifts of the Sutter Spiral Nebula, and has proven impossible to locate by Imperial authorities. Their secrecy extending to within their own ranks. The loss of their original homeworld further emboldens the Raptors to guard their base of operations through use of misinformation.
Yeah, they learned
and
that
subterfuge.
sneakiness from the Raven Guards.
Famed for their service during the Origo Blockade, Sancta Angelis Campaign, Badab War, and Third War for Armageddon. Regardless of the few instances of their near annihilation, the chapter refuses to stand idly by as the Imperium is beset on all sides. Showing blatant disregard for many tenets of the
I don't
revered
know about the
code
Dark
of
Tide.
Ultramarines Primarch, the Codex Astartes. Many an Ultramarine has openly decried the Raptors chapter for their prideful disdain of their Genesire's writings,
Oh,
preferring to target their foes at range rather than in close quarters. The chapter's extensive use of Scout Marines
oh wait, we knew that.
allows them to gather intelligence before orchestrating complex ambush and stealth maneuvers. Alike
Snipies!
to their primogenitor, the Raptors seek to find vulnerabilities in their enemies' lines and determine the
Oh,
best means
he was saying that the Raptors don't agree with Rabute's kind of fighting, not with their own Primarch kind of fighting. Hurt. I was like, huh? Oh. Rabute wants to be all up in them, in their business. And the Raptors are like, I'm just going to hang back, get some information, and then pew, 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 they're gone.
to overwhelm such exploitable weaknesses. Maintaining sizable land speeder
Tank!
battle groups in excess of their cousin chapters to support their insursions and battle lines. Such overwhelming deployments seek to utterly devastate their opponent's ranks with minimal chance of endangering their own men. Placing contingent strategies in reserve to allow for fluid strategies and flexible command structure, the chapter sees the prescribed outlines advised by the Codex Astartes as far too rigid to be used effectively. Caring not for their supposed dishonorable actions should they achieve victory, the Space Marines of the chapter find victory alone to be worthy of praise. Scrutinized by their peers for their use of espionage and counterintelligence practices, the Raptors, though aware of the limitations of their creed, have never faltered in administering them with skill enough to achieve unquestionable results. Operating largely independently from their chapter command, each company must be capable of achieving victory without the support of their kinsmen. Never rushing their scouts to gather vital information on the vulnerabilities of their enemies, their effectiveness in battle can all too easily be blunted should they rush into the fray armed with unreliable or falsified intel.
They have to have their intel.
Leaving ruses of their own maneuvers in order to attempt to trick their enemies.
Ooh.
It is rare for any commander to ascertain the true nature of the Raptors' intent, nor the location of their command centers. Adept at countering opposition forces, far in excess of their own numbers, their cooperation with Astra Militarum regiments has proven invaluable in utilizing their allies' resources to best effect. Deploying their Astartes to work within Guard regiments directly, each squad and battalion exceed their former combat acumen by virtue of being led by the Emperor's angels personally.
There is an animation on the Raptors by JJ Case. It's pretty good. Ooh, okay. Yeah. Thank you, AJ. On the Discord, we have a Warhammer channel where you can put more recommendations. Ironically, Rabute Gilliman would be happy that the Raptors actually use the Codex Astartes how it was supposed to be used as a guidebook. And you know what? And they know that about Uncle Rabute.
Due to their exceptional marksmanship and proclivity to use hit-and-run guerrilla warfare tactics,
They also
their record of
use camouflage,
cooperation
something
with
most
mortal
Marines find
soldiers
heretical.
has proven beneficial in preventing the
Don't
loss
forget
of
to
life
like the stream. Yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, become a member, join the Discord. That's why they're green. They use camouflage. What about the Warhammer gaming? Yeah, we've been having in the Discord, we've been having some Space Marine 2 parties. People partying up to play that. That's been super cute, guys. Thanks. Okay. They will paint over their colors to fit the planet they're on. Ooh. Where do they get their paint from?
Marksmanship and proclivity to use hit-and-run guerrilla warfare tactics. Their record of cooperation with mortal soldiers has proven beneficial in preventing the loss of lives typical for most guardsmen.
They care about their guys.
Akin more to a band of assassins than soldiers, the methods used by the Raptors, though incredibly effective, have regardless
I don't have
continued
the
to draw
Space Marine
ire
one game.
of many Space Marine chapters. Characterized by a grim determination to survive, derived from their prior circumstances, threatening to extinguish the legacy of their chapter, the Raptors have an uncanny ability to adapt and overcome adversity.
Raptor adapter.
Bending, yet never breaking, each warrior of the chapter is wary of emotions
Adapt the
such as
Raptor.
pride or vainglory, and as such refute proclamations of cowardice levied at them should they retreat from battle.
Oh, that's
Immune to the
good.
vice-
They're not afraid to retreat. They're not gonna be, if people are like, no one's gonna think we're a weenie, because we are gonna be strong enough to fight another day.
of hubris and dogma. The Raptors, while deeming the Codex Astartes as a useful guide to strategy and tactics, nevertheless look down upon those who deem its words as sacrosanct.
Just like
Failure
you said.
is not tolerated, yet neither is total loss of their numbers. And so it is that the Raptors thread the needle of achieving their goals without sacrificing their battle brothers and their equipment needlessly. Proven to be difficult to work with when deployed alongside their cousin chapters, the
Makes
accusations
sense.
of cowardice do little to antagonize these stoic warriors. Each senior officer of the chapter deemed worthy only when proven to master battlefield awareness, prioritization of threats, and rapid response to changes in enemy tactics. All Space Marines of the Raptors, regardless of rank, are expected to show initiative and discourage blind obedience.
Good.
Seeing each war zone and skirmish as a puzzle to be solved.
And that's something they learned from Corax. Because he blindly obeyed Horus, and I guess Russ, in sending the Raven Guard to the front lines and having them all freaking 70,000 of them be killed. And now they're like, hey, we don't do that. We gotta learn from Dad. It's okay to run away to fight another day. And it's okay to disobey.
Seeing each war zone and skirmish as a puzzle to be solved.
They like puzzles.
Each viable method to diminish every problem must be entertained, for there is no shame in attempting unorthodox practices within their creed.
Hey, it's okay to try and
Abandoning
fail.
secondary objectives should they allow for overall victory. The Raptors care not for articles of faith nor honor if their rejection achieves results. Finding purpose and glory only in deeds made to the Emperor, death is reward enough for these righteous souls. Their gene seed remarkably stable, considering their descendants from the 19th Legion. Flaws regardless exist within every member of their creed. Their skin pale to the point of near translucence, and hair a jet black. Their non-functioning mucinoid implants prevent their skin's ability to endure the harsh vacuum of space.
Oh no, they
nor
can't be
extreme
in
temperatures,
space.
such as frigid environments. Retaining functional Betcher's glands, the raptors are capable of producing corrosive saliva as a means to injure or digest hazardous foods.
Okay, they
Their
can
fatalistic
spit.
outlook on life, further exacerbated by their Primarch's genetic curse. The most veteran raptors wrestle with the knowledge that humanity hangs on the precipice of extinction and can lapse into bouts of reckless abandon in order to achieve the embrace of death. Clad in dull green ceramite, adorned with silver chest aquillas, each Astartes paints white tactical rolls on their right pauldrons, with black high Gothic numerals centered on their designs, signifying their squad number. In slight contravention of the Codex Astartes, the Raptors utilize white high Gothic numerals on their right knee plates to identify their company number. The symbol of their chapter, a white raptor's head on a field of dull green,
That's a raptor. That looks like a
characterizes their
bird.
no-nonsense approach to heraldry beyond utilitarian purposes. Reinforced with
That's a
Primaris
bird.
Space Marines in the wake of the resurgence of the Avenging Sun, Rabute Gilliman, the Raptors, now armed with enhanced warriors, continue to hone their strategies with such potent new additions to their arsenal. Their loyalty to the Emperor unimpeachable.
Raptor isn't a bird of prey. Oh! See, I don't know why I was thinking of the dinosaur. That makes more sense given the bird of it all, given the bird of the Raven Guard. A raptor is a type of bird. There it is. Okay. Heard. Eagles are also known as raptors. Heard.
The Raptors continue to fight in his name, emboldened with technologies granted by the likewise unorthodox Archmagos Dominus, Belisarius Call.
Belisarius Call. Dino is akin to birds. That's why I thought. I was like, oh, raptors, because dinosaurs and birds are the same. So it makes sense. But raptor's the bird, not raptor the dinosaur, who's kind of a bird. I guess it's closer. Heard, heard, heard. Heard, heard, heard.
Tread softly, brothers. The foe is close, and my blade thirsts
Tread
for
softly,
vengeance.
brothers.
The
The dino was named after its claws. Oh. This vid is a little outdated. We know the homeworld of the raptors now. Terrangast, as well as their fleet battle barge, the Accipiter. Oh yes, this is 2024. Wow, we got a lot of new data. I saw more updated videos on the raptors, but this one was just all-inclusive. So yeah. I think I like the raptors.
The Revilers are a second founding.
The Revilers are
of
next.
The Raven Guard,
Is that a bird?
drawing many of its founding members from the veteran stock of the 19th Legion, all of which were survivors of the Istvaan 5 drop site massacre,
Istvaan 5's veterans.
carrying the teachings of stealth and infiltration from their primogenitor. The Revilers hold the legacy of their Primarch in high esteem and continue to seek vengeance for the sins committed during the drop site massacre. Famed for their annihilation of an Alpha Legion warband by way of setting traps during the chase within
Yay,
the
traps!
Hendrix system, the chapter has earned further glories for their service during the Purgation of Azoth, Battle of Gorgon Depths, Lifon Purge, and Abaddon the Despoiler's 13th Black Crusade.
Damn, he had a lot of Black Crusades.
Using land speeders and assault bikes to hasten their maneuvers.
Ooh,
Their
bikes.
Thunderhawk insertions are supported by deployments of dreadnoughts via drop pod. Clad in grey ceramite, adorned with silver chest aquillas, the chapter designates their tactical role on their right pauldron with white paint, imposing the designs with black high Gothic numerals to identify their squad. As a Codex-compliant chapter, the Revilers use coloured trim of their pauldrons to mark their company. The symbol of their chapter, a human skull struck by a bolt of lightning on a field of grey, epitomizes their talents as ambushers.
Mm,
Expert at
stealthy.
guerrilla tactics, especially within jungle and wet weather environments.
Oh.
The revilers strike from behind enemy lines before slipping once more within the safety of the shadows.
That's it?
You give up your humanity, that the citizens of the Imperium
Ugh.
may keep theirs. Pity or despise them, but never expect them to understand.
Apothecary Baron.
The Death Specters are a successor chapter of the Raven Guard. Established during the 13th Founding, known by many as the Dark Founding, alongside their compatriots, the Exorcists, this chapter has earned a worthy, if not scrutinized, reputation. Patrolling the boundaries beyond the Imperium's domain, their vigil among the Ghoul Stars, combating foes
They're a
such
little
as the Cyclone
problematic.
Fiends and Flayed Ones, is as thankless as it is grueling. The records of the terrible foes spewed forth from the Ghoul Stars during the 34th millennium, the era of the Nova Terra Interregnum, prior to their founding, required many chapters to stem the tide of darkness, some of which perished in the fighting. Though a dozen Space Marine chapters were committed to the campaign, only the Nova Marines retained their records of their involvement of the so-called Pale Wasting, the destruction wrought requiring a new founding to stand vigil following the Astartes sacrifice. Unique as the only founding which does not tithe a bank of their gene seed to the Adeptus Terra, though many chapters were sired, no reminders of their legacies remain, with exception to the Exorcists and Death Specters. Their first chapter master, or Megir, Merin Corcadus, swearing a holy oath at the base of the Golden Throne itself. The Emperor imparted Corcadus a vision of his chapter's new homeworld, the cemetery world of Occludus. Constructing their fortress monastery,
Of course they would live in a
Logopol,
cemetery world.
Upon its foundations, the chapter discovered the relic known as the Shadaiax, known in Gothic as the Throne of Glass. Housed within a domed sanctum known as the Temple of Voices, it is the duty of all Megir of the chapter to sit upon the Throne of Glass deep within Logopol, upon their promotion to rule the chapter, destined to never leave its embrace.
Oh.
Draining the life of its reigning monarch,
Oh.
the Throne of Glass slowly petrifies its host into
Oh.
stone in exchange for immense influence over the Immaterium. The chapter's chief librarian, known as the Mesada, typically must replace their master, alluding to the chapter's need for their master to be a powerful psyker. Preparing their forces for an event known as the Kadash, translated into Gothic as Living Chalice, prophecy foretells that should a being of immense importance sit upon the Shadaiax, the great resurrection shall be achieved. As a successor of the Raven Guard, each Astartes has inherited the genetic flaws endemic within their bloodline, the chapter drafting only the most genetically promising women from the strongholds of the Imperium.
Huh?
Taken to breeding worlds within proximity to Occludus, the chapter drafts the healthiest male children from their mothers to serve as neophytes within their ranks.
I see.
Injected with lethal, toxic concoctions during their gene seed implantation to become a space marine at the age of 10. Only those proven worthy shall revive unaided by their peers during their endurance of the tides of the so-called Black River. Conquering their first death, all Astartes of the chapter must experience a second death for solar hours with their conclusion as neophytes
Second
and
death?
initiation as fully fledged space marines. Rarely experiencing a third death, only
Third
the members of
death?
the Librarius wishing to achieve the rank of Codicea shall undergo such a trial. Their mastery of mortality imparting them with wisdom and great psychic power. All Death Specters are
They
marked
use
by
live
albinism,
growth facts.
alike to their primogenitor due to their flawed melochrome organ. Their blood-red eyes, another marker for their genetic ties to the Raven Guard. Their Betcher's gland and muconoid organ also inactive. The chapter's Astartes cannot produce acidic saliva, nor protective proteins from
they
their
can't
skin's pores
spit.
to protect from environmental hazards, such as is the case of Space Marines with flawless gene seed. Somberly accepting their duty to die in the name of the Emperor, the Death Specters believe that those of their number who fall shall be reincarnated for their deeds. taking much care to maintain the burial sites of their fallen. All whose bodies are recoverable are mummified and interred within the catacombs
Mummies!
of Logopol, honoring the slain with gestures known as the Salute of Skull and Throne, or the Masrahim. Each Astartes places their left hand palm up by their abdomen, placing their closed right fist into their palm. Honored for their service during the Vern IV offensive, Makarian Crusade, Aquila's Crusade, Ghoulstar's Crusade, and Abaddon the Despoiler's 13th Black Crusade. Few chapters have been lauded for their service, fighting within so many war zones of crucial import.
Whoa! They look so cool though. Take all the woman you want, my boys. Just keep staying drippy is crazy. Crazy work. They're literal hussars. The true. Rimworld.
Astartes of crucial import. Adopting the conventions of the Codex Astartes, the chapter champions the use of assault marines. Above all, claims of over 600 Astartes descending from the heavens via jump packs, regaled as legend from their service during the siege of Lelithar. Referring to their first company elite as Wargeists, each carries a large power site into battle to reap a bitter tally from their foes. Using unique titles, such as Megron for their Master of the Flag, Menrahir to members of their chapter council, and Terrorblades to their command squad. There are many customs and cultural trappings which outsiders find difficult to understand. The chapter's librarius, known as the Order, the Death Spectre's chief librarian, leads all due to the absence of their chapter master, committed to duties upon the Throne of Glass. Reading the skeins of fate in order to influence their future to the Imperium's benefit, the Death Specters are perhaps the most proficient of all chapters in their mastery of foresight.
Oh, they can see the
appearing
future.
At the most optimal time to turn the tides of the most hazardous of war zones. The sight of the Death Specters promises victory and the salvation of countless doomed lives. Clad in black ceramite, adorned with bone-white pauldron trim, helmets, and chest aquillas, the chapter identifies their tactical role on their right pauldron with white, using black logothic numerals imposed on such designs to identify their squad. Using stripes on their right knee plate to indicate their company. As a codex-compliant chapter, the colors used comply with the tome's outlines. The symbol of their chapter, a bone-white skull upon a pair of crossed black scythes on a field of white,
Oh, I thought those were
epitomizes
pickaxes.
their fell nature as reapers of the fell enemies of the Imperium. Embarking to face the most terrible denizens of the void with no fear of their own demise. The Death Specters are oblivion incarnate for those who feel the edge of their scythes.
Cool. Love a scythe.
The Stormhawks are a successor chapter of the Raven Guard of unknown founding.
Ooh, unknown.
Hailing from the world of Zephyr, these warriors bear stark contrast to their primogenitor chapter due to their seeming lack of stealth combat doctrine. Clad in white ceramite, adorned with red pauldron trim and chest aquillas, the chapter marks their tactical role on their right pauldron in red, with white logothic numerals centered on such designs to identify their squad. Adopting the conventions of the Codex Astartes, each Space Marine paints their left knee plate to designate their company, in accordance with its prescribed color scheme. The symbol of their chapter, a red hawk's head with a lightning bolt protruding from its beak, belies their nature to strike fast with immense force. Their relationship to their founding chapter and deeds made in the name of the Imperium unknown, this antisocial chapter seems intent on keeping their glories to themselves.
That's it. A quick one.
When our Primarch Corvus Corax led the Raven Guard against the heretic Horus, he stumbled into a trap that killed nearly all of our brothers. We were almost purged from the galaxy, and Corax fled in disgrace. It was millennia before the Raven Guard and their successors recovered from his departure. Centuries more before we learned to embrace our failings as strength rather than weakness. The Emperor has no perfect servants, and so he must make do with broken ones,
Oh.
like us.
Lord Tarvarius.
The Stormwings are a successor chapter
Oh,
of
the
the Raven Guard of unknown
Stormwings.
founding. Hailing from the world of Eerie within the Segmentum Solar, among their most lauded recorded service is their cooperation with the orphaned Tiger Claws chapter. Declared lost in the warp for over 3 millennia, the 100-man Astartes crew of their strike cruiser, Bakasura, had witnessed only mere months within its tides before being spat from within its time-dilating tides. Resupplying the Tiger Claws following their successful repelling of the Dark Eldar, the descendants of the Astral Claws ventured for their homeworld of Crota, seen in the eyes of the Stormwings as truly valiant souls. Championing the embrace of one's burdens as a means to reforge oneself as stronger, each Space Marine crafts a link of thick iron chains to symbolize their strength, shaping them into interlocking talons which bite into their neck to remind them of their failures.
Oh, their
Clad in grey
failures.
ceramite, adorned with red gesticularies.
That's crazy. Why not look up the lore for the Daughters of Cain after this? So I'm just trying to stay in the 40k universe. To jump into Daughters of Cain would be crazy. But I do want to get there eventually. Who knows when we're going to get there? Are we watching Warhammer lore? Yes. We are learning about the Raven Guard and their successor chapters and the Space Sharks. Twitch has an ad. So I'm going to get my bread. Hold for bread. You ever see the Space King animated short? Well, it's not short. Oh, well. I have not. I got my bread, which is a bread that looks like a potato, but it's actually a bread. Where were we?
The chapter clad in grey ceramite, adorned with red gesticularies, the chapter signifies their tactical roles with red paint on their right pauldrons. Identifying their squad number with black stenciled numerals atop such designs. As a codex-compliant chapter, each Astartes trims their pauldrons with its prescribed color scheme to mark their company. The symbol of their chapter, a winged red skull on a field of grey, epitomizes their nature as dour and uncompromising souls.
Ooh.
Refusing to ignore nor make excuse for their flaws, this band of warriors finds strength in their shared responsibility to learn from past mistakes to better the Imperium. The Iron Ravens are an Ultima Founding
I haven't
successor
watched them.
chapter of the Raven Guard. Following in their primogenitor's footsteps as masters of shock assaults.
What does that mean? Ultima Founding Successor. What does that mean?
Following in their primogenitor's footsteps as masters of shock assaults, their patience in gathering intelligence, thanks to the efforts of their 10th Scout Company, allows for victories made with a single precision drop pod assault maneuver known as the Blade of Corax. Each senior officer a veteran of Rabute Gilliman's unnumbered sons, their early years fighting alongside
And the Ultima Founding is based on the invention of the Primaris Marines. Oh, okay.
the many disciples of various gene lineages, unnumbered sons. Their early years fighting alongside the many disciples of various gene lineages has encouraged the chapter to be flexible in their tactics used in battle, which has in turn lessened their use of stealth.
How many
as a
kinds of
champion
Marines are
strategy.
there? So freaking many.
Clad in silver ceramite, adorned with blue knee plates.
So originally there were 20 legions. each Primarch had their own legion. And then after the heresy, the legions changed into chapters. So there's a lot. So Raven Guards were one of the original legions. They were Corvus Corax's legion, the 19th. And we are learning about their successors. We've learned about the Blackguard, the Raptors, the Revilers, the Death Specters, the Stormhawks, the Stormwings, and now we're at the Iron Ravens. Kinda 20 legions with their distinctive attributes, but 2 were lost or forgotten, right? Most recent one, I believe, the one after Rowboat came back. The Ultima founding took place immediately following Gilliman's return. It was when the Primaris Marines were officially introduced. Got it. Each legion had about 100,000 or more Marines. Yes. I think this guy's accent is Essex because he pronounces TH as if. Thanks. And chapters have 1,000 Marines. So each legion has 10 chapters? Or no?
Pauldron insets and helmets, trimmed with gold chest aquillas and red vertical stripes on their brows. The chapter identifies their company, with the prescribed codex-compliant color scheme trimming their pauldrons. As an Astartes gains promotion,
they broke legions into chapters so they can't fall to chaos at once. At maximum strength, they would have had 100 chapters. Whoa! So, thus... 2,000 different kinds of Space Marines. Dang.
more of their ceramite shall be painted blue, with veterans painting their arms, while sergeants and lieutenants are distinguished with varying patterns of red and blue on their helmets.
The Ultramarines pre-heresy had over 300,000 Marines. Oh. But like the Raven Guard, only 4,000 survived, so approximately 4 chapters of the Raven Guard survived Istvaan. Oh, right, yeah. Because the rest were killed in the heresy.
Marking their tactical role with white paint on their right pauldron, each Astartes utilizes white low Gothic numerals on their right knee plate to signify their squad. The symbol of their chapter, a white stylized raven upon a field of blue, closely mimics their primogenitor's vaunted heraldry. Determined to forge a legacy
and the blue
befitting the sons of the Raven Lord, the resolve of the Iron Ravens to match their peers' accolades is beyond question.
Not really. All legions varied in sizes. The only ones directly descendant of the main legions directly are of the 2nd to 3rd founding. Oh, got it. Theoretically, at full strength, they would have had 100,000. It's not the case most time, though. It's a huge difference in numbers between the legions due to the heresy.
The Necropolis Hawks are an Ultima founding successor
Necropolis
chapter
Hawks
of the Raven Guard. Masters of close quarters combat, specializing in urban warfare
That's what they called me in college.
Their use of livery bears unique quirks in order to be legible, whilst blending with the obscuring dust and smoke of citified battlefields. Gloried for their service during the War of Beasts, when dispatching 7 companies to the world of Vigilus, their efforts encompassed the pendulum swing which shifted the war in the Imperium's favor through their securing of safe zones.
I'm Ramen.
Clad in livid ceramite, adorned with white helmets, backpacks, pauldron insets, and arm
Backpacks!
the chapter marks their tactical role with black paint on their right pauldron, identifying their squad with white low Gothic numerals atop such designs, designating their squad with unique heraldic symbols on their backpacks with white low Gothic numerals.
Oh, you said no math.
Plates.
Sorry, I did math. Or I had them do math for me. I'm sorry.
Symbols on their backpacks with white low Gothic numerals.
But they have backpacks.
Black right knee plates, signifying their company.
I love a Space Marine with a backpack.
With the prescribed codex compliant color scheme to denote their company. Standard Battle Brothers paint their vent of their helmets with yellow paint, while sergeants wear red helmets with white faceplates. Veteran sergeants adopting white stripes, and lieutenants bearing white helmets marked with red stripes. The symbol of their chapter, a stylized black raptor's head.
All Marines have backpacks? Oh. Oops. Also, the Space Wolves weren't broken up because Russ was all, F yours, got mine. Oh, okay.
On a field of white, imitates the Raptor Imperialis of Terra's Unification Wars, which was also characterized by many engagements of urban warfare.
Guess that means I love them all.
By cold-blooded pragmatism and carefully applied aggression, these
Thanks for watering
meticulous
the
sons
fish,
of the
Hecka.
Liberator uphold the legacy of deliverance.
Hecka's watered the chat, too. Drink water. Their power sources in their backpack? I love that. Same. We are watching Space Sharks after this. The legions that had the most Marines were the Dark Angels and the Ultramarines, the latter integrating the Marines of the Lost, 2nd, and 11th Legions. The backpack is a giant battery that makes the power armor work. Oh. So where are they gonna put their snacks and stuff? Hi, Nugs! Where do they put their trinkets?
The Rift Stalkers are an Ultima founding successor chapter of the Raven Guard, aiding the forces of the Imperium
Happy
during
to
their
your Annie.
battle against the forces of chaos within the
I don't
Vargai
want to know where their
Stars.
snacks are.
The celebrations of the conclusion of 7 brutal years of war secured by the chapter would be known as the Triumphant Return. Cut short by the invasion of Awa, led by the Orc war boss, Grug Face Ripper.
Grug Face Ripper! Look at him. What a guy. They have trail mix in their little pouches. Ooh, cute. Hi, Demon DBS Nyaho.
The chapter resumed their defense of the world of Tremendix
Face
and
Ripper.
Aposia as bloodshed resumed. Clad in white ceramite, adorned with black chest aquillas, the chapter marks their tactical role with black stencils on their right pauldron, signifying their company with use of Codex-compliant colors on its trim, whilst using black low-Gothic numerals on their left knee plate to identify their squad. The symbol of their chapter, a stylized black raven on a field of white, honors their primogenitor and the legacy of the Raven Lord. Deployed to the Spiral Nebula against the forces of the Thousand Suns during the fall of the Vision of Torment, the chapter has earned glory for their sacrifices made to defeat the Sons of Magnus for solar months of naval campaigning. The Knights of the Raven are a successor chapter of the Raven Guard,
The Knights of the Raven.
sired during an unknown founding.
The Knights. For the chapters with the most successors, as you would suspect, Ultramarines have the most successors, then it would be Blood Angels. The suit recycles every liquid. Yes, I remember that, unfortunately. Their snacks are repurposed waste and energy paste, but yes, there are options of adding storage or ammo reserves for belt feds to the backpack. I would have so much little pouches. What's in my purse? What's in my purse? Space Marine Edition. They can eat rocks for nutrients if needed. Yeah, eat rocks.
Created during
Rocks.
the 38th millennium, it is rare for the Raven Guard to receive new foundings due to their gene seed's continual degeneration. Driven to earn glories aplenty, to sate their need for recognition in the eyes of their primogenitor, their valor is among the most fervent of the Astartes.
Valorant.
Recruited from their feudal homeworld of Corax, named in recognition of their Primarch, the citizens of this bleak planet willingly offer their most promising youths every 13 years to transcend into the near mythological figures which descend from the heavens.
Okay,
Fighting
they
beside
give the
Aurora
kids.
chapter against the Alpha Legion during 744.M41, the results of the Redemption Rebellion forming a bitter rivalry between the two Space Marine chapters. Blaming one another for the catastrophic losses suffered on both sides, only with the intervention of the Ultramarines chapter master, Marneus Calgar, did the feuding stop. Calgar suggesting that the Knights of the Raven combat the Genestealer cult
Big bro
of
Calgar!
Vanix 5 to atone for the blood spilled of the Aurorans. Famous for their pacification of the Jagan insurrection, Aquila's crusade, Scythe campaign, and war for the Aberis system, their efficiency fighting Xenos adversaries has been highly prized by the Chamber Militant of the Ordo Xenos, the Death Watch. Clad in silver ceramite, embellished with black
Ooh,
chest
they're
aquillas,
silver.
the chapter designates their tactical role on their right pauldron in black, and squad number with white low Gothic numerals centered on such designs. Their company marked with Codex-compliant paint on their left knee plates. The symbol of their chapter, a black raven on a field of silver, honors the heraldry of their primogenitor and legacy of the Raven Lord. Taciturn warriors willing only to communicate when necessary, Though the Knights of the Raven are a capable chapter, their ability to collaborate with Imperial auxiliaries leaves much
they
to
don't
be
play
desired.
nice. Makes sense if your name's Raven
This has
Lord.
been a tale of the great
Or
Imperial of Man,
Raven Knights.
read
Knights of the
by
Raven.
Remembrancer. The Sons of the Liberator are often maligned for their use of stealth and espionage. For whilst many tales can be retold of legendary martyrs plunging headfirst into the fray, the Scions of Corax find satisfaction only in a duty well done with minimal loss of lives. While vainglory is not a trait flaunted by all chapters of the Adeptus Astartes, many could benefit greatly from practicing more tempered methods of warfare. So care not for those who decry your deeds, should they be deemed unbefitting conventional doctrine. For so long as they achieve results with no loss of dignity, you shall find vindication.
Yay! Thank you, Remembrancer. To note, the Dark Angels still secretly continue operating as a legion. All the chapter masters of the D8 successors answer to Azrael, the Supreme Grand Master, and some keep the old iconography. See, I knew there was something that said there are more than one chapter master. I knew I wasn't crazy. But it's not in the Ultramarines. The Ultramarines only have one. The Dark Angels have more than one. And then there's a Supreme Grand Master. Heard. Our Doom Eagles, Raven Guard successors, are pretty emo too. Well, I didn't hear anything about a Doom Eagle. Doom Eagle. Nope. Are there more? Well, there are some that you don't. So this is all of the confirmed successor chapters. I know there's a lot of chapters like the Space Sharks that are not confirmed to be Raven Guards. So they could be. It makes sense if they're emo and they're eagles. Yeah. There are many chapters who have feuds with other chapters, but one example of the opposite happening is between the Star Dragons and the Bloodsword chapters who absolutely love each other. Oh, I love that. Okay. Now we're getting into the Space Sharks! This is what I'm excited for. Now that we know about Corax, Raven Guards, let's learn about the Space Sharks that may or may not be also Raven Guard. How long are we going for? I'm going to finish this and then we're done. I have an appointment at 5 o'clock and it is 3 o'clock. Hi, Alien! Are you having fun learning? Yeah. Most, if not all, of the Dark Angel's successors play some particular role in the hunt for the fallen. Ooh. Doom Eagles are Ultramarines that act mostly like Raven Guards. All Doom Eagles are Ultramarines. Okay. This was another highly requested video. Lysander and Coda. I've never watched them before.
I'm Lysander.
And I am Coda.
And today we're going to be covering
Lysander.
the winners of the polls. They took a lead quick. Real quick. And absolutely dominated. It's the
Eagles
Space
are
Sharks.
Ultramarines.
The Space Sharks.
And it left the...
the Land Sharks got a space program.
That's it. Yeah, pretty much. Kind of.
I love a land shark. I love a water
Episode.
shark. I love a
There
space
are
shark.
actually land sharks?
Something like that.
Oh, I was making a joke.
However, that leaves the Leagues of Votan, the Abhumans, and the Rogue Traders in just a fight. Okay.
Rogue Traders!
It's neck and neck.
Thank you for
Apparently, Rogue
watering the
Traders are getting
fish.
a video game.
Please drink your water, guys. You have been watered. Lysander and Coda have a really good Gene Stealer cult video. Ooh.
Didn't know that was happening. That works out great. Rockin' Stones just perpetually rockin' stoning.
Rockin' Stone.
They're about to get a book from what I've
Rip
heard,
and tear.
which might actually mean it's worth delaying the episode only so we can get that book, because releasing an episode immediately outdating it. That's a possibility there. And then the Abhumans are always vibing. The Ogryn are in Darktide. They're doing great. The Abhumans are doing fine for
Aren't there
themselves.
more? There's more than just the Ogrins.
That's
though,
why I
isn't
said Abhumans. You're correct. There's way more than Ogrins. But that's an episode you have to fight for. You gotta get it. As always, the way that happens is by popular demand. So you sound off in the comments, you share the video.
That's
to your
why we
friends,
do
they
it
sound
here
off in the
too.
comments, and that's how the Space Sharks got it, frankly.
And that's also how we're reacting to the space sharks, because we had a poll on the YouTube and you guys wanted more Space Marine stuff. So yeah, here we are. The Ultramarines have the excuse of 10 show chapters of Ultramar and is suspiciously close to a legion.
This is what we in the civics class would call an absolute democracy.
Pretty much. We also have a Patreon where you can get a bonus episode.
They have a
every
Patreon.
single week.
We don't
as
have a
well as
Patreon.
A bunch of other perks. I'm talking priority voting, access to the Discord, live streams. It just goes on and on. So if you want to help support the show and get all that stuff, head on over to patreon.com/Isandra and For those of you already there, thank you very much. For those of you signing up right now, thank you too. And let's get into the most fun Marines out there, the Space Sharks.
The most
Not gonna
fun,
lie,
the most fun.
Probably have some of the best art of any of the Marines.
Ooh.
Really?
It's like 3 pieces by one artist who I want to credit so desperately, but I can't. No, but
Why?
they carry the Space Sharks aesthetic so well right now.
Do they?
Well, first off, they're just
Oh my God, is that a
fin?
fin?
There's not a lot written about them, actually.
Is that a fin?
It's fairly recent they got fleshed out. However, the best place to describe them is
That's not his head.
Start by talking about where they call
Ah!
home, which is
Look at the fin! I want it. I want a fin Marine.
for the most part, everything we've covered in 40K has been in the galaxy. Makes sense. That's where the action is.
I knew
the
it.
galaxies are 3D objects. For the most part, every time we depict them, they're flat.
It's just easier to manage.
It's just easier to manage that way. 40K is no difference. Their galaxies, if you look at the art for it, it looks very flat. It's super duper not, but when you zoom out that far in the scale of light years,
it basically becomes a flat disc.
Exactly. And that's where all the action is. That's where all the fun stuff is. That's where the Emperor is wasting away. That's where war after war is happening. That's a thing that's ripped in half. The Space Sharks have nothing to do with this, basically.
What?
Because the way it works is, hopefully, for those of you that are aware, we are 3D beings. That means you can go above and below said disc. Now, we know that there are bugs coming in from below. Not great.
Bugs.
It's
Hate 'em.
kind of suck.
Not
F
brilliant.
them.
It really
The
sucks.
Space
Hate 'em,
Sharks
guys.
are above, circling.
Oh.
Oh,
They're like in
Oh,
sharks.
They
they're swimming.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they leaned into it hard. They are in what is called the void, basically, where there are very few planets,
They're in the
basically no stars, and you are out in whatever's out there's home territory, basically. And that's what they call home. There's very little supply, and there's almost always war.
frightening. Even out in the void, there's always war. It's not quiet out on the frontier.
There is nowhere
There's
that's peaceful in
always-
40K.
It's 40K.
It's 40K.
It's always war.
And that's where they tend to be, for the most part, just circling until they find their target. And if any Marines are after you, horrific day.
It's rough out on
It's
the
like
void.
3 NFL players in a trench coat who can never miss a shot. It's a problem. It really is. Oh, and they're faster than a car at full speed. Just is. You don't want any Marine. Oh, yeah, and they're also armored better than most tanks. You don't want Marines after you. You really don't.
They're big and scary.
There's a reason most people who see Marines sometimes just lose it out of fear. Even if they're loyal, they'll just see them and go, oh, God.
Oh, God. That's a living Sherman walking at me.
Yeah, exactly. But these ones are somehow worse.
How? They literally spit venom and eat people's brains to get memories.
We're
Eh?
gonna pull one
Oh,
from
yeah.
Tyrannus
Wait, I knew
episode this
that.
time because we're going to describe what you would see if the Space Sharks came to help you. Because I would do it from the victim's perspective. You'll see why I didn't in a moment, okay? And so let's say you're commanding a war in the far reaches of space. You don't have help either. You're not used to being here. You don't want to be here, right? That's how it is. But it's 40K. You've been dragged into this fight. The Emperor says, I have to win or die. There's no running away. And so you do that. And as you're fighting, you are running out of supplies. They do not seem to be running out of bodies. There seem to be enemies popping up about as fast as you're losing bullets to take care of them. It's not looking great.
Not looking good.
And then an encrypted communication comes through to you. And it's using codes so old, you have to dust off some relics you're carrying to figure out if they're legit or not. I'm talking borderline heresy era codes. And you're like,
Who is using 10,000-year-old code?
They check. The codes check out. So you're like, okay.
Okay,
well,
real codes,
let's
real
hear
codes.
what they have to say. And then in 40K's version of Perfect Latin, which is High Gothic, because they have High and Low Gothic, you hear a request come through hoarse and quiet, almost impossible to hear, and even harder to decipher, because this isn't just Latin, it's perfect.
Perfect
It's like
Latin.
perfect Latin whispered directly into your ear.
Yes.
Ooh.
And all it's asking is, can we please join the fight? We are the Emperor's sons.
Oh, that's nice.
Now, you swear to God there's nothing around you but enemies. Suddenly, there's a ship that wasn't there before.
Hi, can we join
and it
you?
has ship-sized harpoons pointed.
Oh, cute.
You say yes, partially out of fear, because I'm not...
What are you going to do with a ship-sized harpoon?
Exactly. You just say, sure, whatever.
Yeah,
So you
yeah.
just
Come
do
here,
not
come here,
poon
come here.
me.
And they do, the codes check out, everything, all the paperwork seems right, everything checks out, it's just old, and we can't make out the
They were
ship
just old.
itself because nobody uses stuff like that anymore. It's like World War II era stuff, but they're keeping it running somehow, and it's like a mishmash.
It's like that one story from recently where somebody set out
They're
a
time
SOS
traveling.
call in the middle of the ocean, and a boat from
The Gothenburg.
1793 came out to rescue them.
Equivalent of the Gothenburg, but if they had plates from modern ships welded onto. And you're like, oh dear, what have I summoned? And
That's
then that's a
crazy.
perfect example. This is why you're here. Thank you. Oh, yeah, that's great. I just added to it. And so the Gothenburg arrives, basically. And on top of all of that, they claim to have a mission from the Emperor himself to do this. Okay, sure, whatever. Deal with it.
Yeah.
Thank you, please, bye.
A direct message from him. Thank you. Okay.
Yeah, please, go ahead. Thank you. Thank you.
Go about your business.
Go for it.
I'm
Who am
old
I-
and
who am I to impede
the
Emperor's
Emperor
will? Go ahead.
Exactly.
freaking sent me.
And then they disappear.
Oh, where they go?
Well,
Well, where's the help?
at least they didn't maim me. You know, honestly, bullet dodge. At least they didn't maim me. You continue on a few days, and then you hear reports about 10 different attacks happening at the same time. And they all say the same thing. Silent, massive figures walking through the battlefield and pushing far deeper into enemy territory than you ever have. There's absolutely no mercy. It doesn't matter if they give up. They just crush it and then leave.
Oh, they
with these
crush
brutal
them. They
strikes.
step on them.
And then just as fast as they came, they completely leave dead silent. If they bump into extreme resistance, they'll also just leave. And then they'll come from a different angle.
The
over
ultimate-
and over until that thing's gone.
The ultimate form of guerrilla warfare.
And it's not just, oh, they leave no survivors. It's nothing.
There's dust.
It's that enemy had
They
weapons,
eat them.
ammo, and deployments they were using. That's all gone.
Gone.
It's like they hadn't set up to fight here at all.
Reduced to ashes.
Exactly. And this just happens over and over on every front. Slowly, the enemies stop attacking you because clearly something worse is here. And you even get reports of this one space marine who towers over dreadnoughts.
Ooh, a
He's
tall
so big,
guy.
people mistake him for a Primarch, and he has these massive electrified claws that have chain swords running down the palm
Cool.
of them. And they leave nothing in their wake except a sea of red.
My God.
That's just what happens, and as fast as it started, the circling stops altogether. The moment it's all done, it just leaves.
Well, at least they didn't get pooned.
Yeah, until the ship points directly at you and starts coming directly for you, and then they board, and speaking again in that perfect Latin, but politely, may we please have some armor, weapons, and recruits for the help? we
I
just gave you?"
love the helmet.
And again, Space Marine standing before you, terrifying, right? This one's got scrimshawed shark teeth all over him. What look like Pacific Islander tattoos all over his armor, and
I
his
was gonna
skin-
say,
his skin is gray and
I
rubbery.
see
He's got
the
pointed
Pacific
teeth
Islander
himself.
tattoos.
Shark Boy really grew up.
Yeah. And that's the space sharks. That's pretty much their whole gimmick. They are.
Wait, the patterns that you were talking about are Pacific Islander tattoos? Sign me up! I'm making space sharks! Look at how cute they are! Wow!
Hunters in the ether itself sent out.
I love
eons
them, I
ago
love
in
them, I love them.
exile for something to ravage the foes of humanity until they've atoned for whatever that was. We have no idea what it is to this day.
I mean, the atonement should be for those graphics in 2005. My God. Shark Boy.
I heard they're doing a reboot.
Are they doing a reboot?
Apparently.
Yeah, this is the reboot.
No. It's on Netflix, I think, or something like that. These ones are so much fun, and I was not joking. In canon,
They're
they do
kind of
work in
mutated
radio
though.
silence.
Oh.
In my head canon, it's definitely either the Jaws theme playing
But
or Baby Shark. There's no.
but
Those are the two options.
Wait, Baby Shark,
It's
Baby
They've got
Shark,
posters on the inside of their ships.
Space
and, like,
Marines.
a little postcard right on their armor that says "Do it for him," and it's the one IKEA shark.
yeah. The left shark.
I
No,
love
left
him!
shark,
The
dude.
blush!
Of course. You have
Not
to.
how's it pronounced? Blahaj? Blaj?
Blowhide.
I don't speak
Oh.
Swedish.
Blush.
Is there a shark in IKEA?
Yeah, you know how IKEA sells plushies?
Yes.
They've got the shark.
All the best
There's a
chapters are
shark.
mutated.
Do it for him, I guess.
Do it for
That's probably on there.
I
Other
love
than
it.
The silence
I
that
love
they
it.
bring for intimidation factor, they also are just. It's kind of a curse that plagues them too. A lot of the Primarchs aren't great dads. They take after their own dad in that way. Sometimes they give their kids defects. It
Intergenerational
happens.
trauma.
Theirs is a pretty weird one. It's a slow one that starts with them. The first phase is them becoming a complete stiff. For lack of a better term, they become coldly formal. They will only speak in High Gothic, which is that Latin variant I was telling you about, and they can still speak
Their
loud,
mutation
but they
is their formal.
choose not to.
Yeah, really don't want to. Their armor's always perfect. They're always standing like straight. It's
Interesting,
just like they're overly formal. It's that person who is awkward and then they also rely on formality as a way to cope as a shield. That's what they become. And then after that, a sense of mercilessness will set in. They're already not very giving of quarter.
They are Space Marines.
Yeah, this time, no. It's just they will turn everything before them into a red mist.
Red mist or dust. One of those two. It's like a binary state.
And then the last one is them just succumbing to the silence of the depths itself. They basically never utter a word again. And they always prefer to go alone.
Oh.
And
Their mutation is first they get super proper and stiff, and then they're lonely? That's so sad. They allegedly use whatever gene seed they can get their hands on, including Traitor Legion ones, which at this point isn't really that outrageous. True. You want to watch Astartes, the short film, you understand. I was supposed to watch that last week. Ow. The theories is that they were a hardliner faction of the Raven Guard during the heresy, not heretical, and got sent on this mission in order to do stuff their way and not clash with the Second Founding. And then bad stuff happens after the loneliness.
They're true lone sharks.
how many shark-related puns? You're going to get a lot in, actually. Let me not ask that question. This
My
is your
poor
home
little
field.
lonely
Never
shark
mind.
boys.
With that curse being said, you may wonder, who gave them this? Who's the dad that gives them this defect? Because none of them have this listed, right?
I'm gonna guess salamanders?
No.
No?
Well, we have a Maury Povich situation here. Because nobody wants to claim they're the father. It's kind of...
Who's the father?
Let's get a DNA test going then.
We've tried that.
Oh.
The top contenders are the Night Lords, the Raven Guard, and the World Eaters, and nobody wants to pay child support. So those are the three best guesses. The Night Lords' resemblance comes from the violence.
They're brittle.
Yeah. Their remorseless tactics are something to behold, and also there is... People hold on to this one line where the space sharks are coming, and it's referred... Somebody tells a Night Lord, your brothers have arrived. But it's 40k. Space Marines call each other brother more than almost anything else.
Could be battle brother. It could be like brother.
Sergeant brother.
It could be half brother twice removed.
So
you never
Step
know.
bro.
That one's a bit It's an eyebrow raiser for sure, but it's not anything concrete. However, they do also have a pale death-like complexion. And
That's a Raven Guard.
like I mentioned.
That's a
Which does give
Raven
the Night
Guard.
Lords more points.
That's pretty Night Lordy, yeah.
It does also give the Raven Guard a lot of points.
It does also give the
And
Raven
they are all about sudden sneak attacks that are
That's the
debilitating.
Raven Guard.
warfare.
And that's what these guys' tactics are. However, they are far more aggressive than anything the Raven Guard have ever pulled off.
Oh.
So that's where the World Eaters
I
come
mean,
in.
I've seen art of a Raven Guard Space Marine with a sniper rifle.
Yeah.
That's not Space Marine like. Usually it's I'm going to get in there with my chainsword and rip them to shreds.
I love the
not
Raven
I'm
Guard.
going to quick scope them.
No, I love the Raven
No.
Guard because it's the equivalent of
He
a
didn't
tank
watch the Remembrances
5
videos.
kilometers away with perfect aim, just taking things out quietly. And you're like, why? Who put a silencer on the end of this thing? And is it even functional? That's what the Raven Guard's whole shtick is.
Makes sense. They have aspects of the 3, but they do stuff that's in complete opposition to the 3 legions. The chapter master of the sharks looks undead. Undead shark. Hi, Sir Pie Man.
Space sharks are not quiet, though. So
No.
that leaves the World Eaters as the last contender because of just how violent they can be. And also because the whole ship-to-ship harpoons, that was a World Eater thing.
That was a World Eater
That
thing?
was a World Eater invent. Okay, think about it this way. The World Eaters did it because that's a ship, you're shooting me, get closer so I can punch you.
I can't punch you from that distance. Get closer.
Yeah, it's a brilliant invention. So that's why it's all up in the air. They have bumped
Who do
into
you
Raven
think their
Guard
daddy
Phish,
is?
Who called them... Who didn't agree with that? Or
Who's
didn't
the
assumption
father?
At all. However, their DNA has been tested as Raven Guards. It's a
Oh.
mess. It's in canon. It's unknown, and or it could be all of the above, because there's Space Marines with mixed genes
Mixed
going on.
daddies.
So it's entirely possible the weird mishmash we're seeing is because they are truly a weird mishmash of all of them, because it makes no sense. Nothing else really operates like them outside of canon. It's because they wanted a shark chapter, and so those 3 are what you would need to mix to get a shark chapter. Let's be real here. However, in canon,
It's confusing.
it's confusing, and it's another one of those mysteries. It's probably never going to be resolved properly because it would add more questions than it would answer.
It'd be cool if the space sharks were just revealed to be like, oh yeah, here's the what is it? The second? No, not the
Second and 11th.
The second and the 11th.
Yeah, it could also totally be that. Nobody knows. And with the levels, we'll get into this a bit later, but with how well they keep their gear, it's also not impossible that they're salamanders. Nobody knows.
I don't know.
Nobody
It just
knows.
seems like so salamander-y.
Mm-hmm.
Very animal focused. Very, I'm going to hit you very hard and very large.
Yeah, they are very large. They are very large.
It's
The space sharks, like the firehawks, minotaurs, and a few more, are heavy mutated space marines, as mutants are chaotic. Claiming the sharks to your gene seed puts a mark on you. Oh, they don't want that bad juju. The space sharks resemble more the behavior of the Terran Raven Guard, who in simple terms are pretty much Night Lords in behavior. Also, the chapter master is called Shade Lord. They get what gene seed they can when they can because of their nomad predation pattern crusade. The sharks could also be Alpha Legion as they adapt from small and keep growing. Oh. Some people also made the theory that they are remnants of the 2nd or 11th Legion. Some people think Tyberos might be a Primarch. Oh.
It just seems like a
because he's
salamander type
huge.
beat.
Who knows? That's the fun of it. And that's the best.
We'll never know the
modern way
father.
We have to wrap our heads around this. The Old Lord just had them pegged as Marines, but the shark variant.
Marines, but the shark Marines.
Which, I mean, they still kind of are, let's be honest. But it was...
Hitting things very hard
not
fits
as
all
good back
Space
in the day.
Marines.
Because all that horror and dread I just described to you, it gets washed away when you realize back in the day they were wearing the, like the beaky armor? Yeah, they were wearing the beaky armor with like shark's teeth glued to it.
Cute!
Pitch white. No, it was stark white with a red stripe, I think. And it had like a PNG of a shark lunging. It was... And their stealth variant was construction site orange because... high vis vests are
A stealthy, I guess.
they render you invisible
Ooh,
to the
you
natural
can't
world.
see me.
Oshi doesn't want you to know this. Yeah, it was 40K
Okay.
back in the day was
Okay.
not as polished as what we have today, which is honestly fine. I've always loved seeing media I consume evolve over time and get better and more refined, and you can see them occasionally go back to the weird and pull it forward, and you're like, oh, that's okay, cool, that's better, I guess.
That's okay.
I mean, back in the day, if I remember
That's
correctly,
cool.
the Ultramarines were traitors.
Oh yeah, you did mention that.
I think they were a traitor legion. That's definitely
They were
definitely
conquering,
not-
and then Dad showed up, and he said, "Join me," and they said, "No."
definitely not canon at all anymore. But that's the kind of stuff that 40K has. If you've played League at all for the last 10 years, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
What did he just say to me? If I played what? Nope. Sorry. Wrong fish. Wrong fish. Tyberos is definitely not a Primarch. He's just an ancient, and as sharks never stop growing, he is big. Tyberos do be a massive slab of beef. Shouldn't he be a massive slab of tuna? Their chief librarian is named Tekarangi, the Pale Nomad, and that's my favorite title in 40K. Ooh. They're canceled. Canceled!
Old League was something else.
It just started as like a, oh yeah, here are these cool champions in a fight,
There used to
duking
be-
it out,
there used to be
and now it's just a bunch of
summoners.
random universes that are like all doing their own thing. And it's
He's the
just
guy
like,
from
okay.
Naruto
yeah.
who's an
Wait,
Akatsuki shark dude.
I-
Oh,
League is-
Kisame?
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
the
like
best
League,
example.
but I do really like the juxtaposition between Piltover and Zon.
Yeah, I don't like League
Piltover.
either.
Everybody likes Arcane. Next question.
Also, Shurima interests me.
The Sand?
Yeah.
That's also fun. I would love to see more of that. This kind of formative nature of the space sharks is really contrasted when you look at what they are today. Because, like I mentioned, they were kind of doofy. But nowadays, it's slate gray armor.
I love the color gray.
It's still the old heresy stuff. It's still old, but they use it for a different reason now. It's okay. The heresy was a mess. There was war happening everywhere. We didn't know if we could get parts anywhere on time. So heresy armor specifically was made. You could glue this together and it would work. Like if you kill another Marine, you can slap pieces off of that onto this and it'll work just fine.
That's why they have all of the rivets all
Oh,
over, like
what do you call that?
30K armor, because
Yeah.
it's just like this is literally just riveted together.
Yeah, exactly. But they also
Peace maxing or whatever.
recently-ish, thanks to an author whose name escapes me, but I want to credit them too. He gave them kind of they kind of rip from just general Pacific Islander culture now too. A lot of their names do. They have those tattoos going, which is awesome design.
I
Like,
love
First of
these.
all, let's just start there because they have like great whites are like that bluish gray up top and then the white beneath.
Mm-hmm.
So they have that bluish gray all over them and then like the white for the tattoos.
I love that.
It's insanely
Or
cool.
white tip
When
sharks.
do we get Jason Momoa as a space shark in the next 40K
Oh
film?
my goodness.
It has to happen.
It has to happen.
And the way there's no better way to put it, and the visual in this segment's gonna help a lot too. But the way Space Marine armor is shaped, it's kind of like two U's. One that goes from behind your neck up in front, and then another that goes again from behind your neck up above your head. That's kind of how it works. And it's like a weird. It's a part of the armor because it's very big and bulky, even on Space Marines, because they have to get shot at a lot. So you want that armor big and bulky. And it also is because Space Marine armor can attach all kinds of stuff to it, from massive bags to jetpacks. So it's gonna be larger than your average human frame, and that's kind of a result of that. It's also really solid face protection. So even if they're wearing a helmet, it'll always you'll have those two U's over and behind. I mean, under and behind almost every Marine. That's perfectly normal stuff. If you watch F1, it's a Hans device, effectively. Just think of it as a Hans device.
Hans device?
The head and neck device. It's so that they don't instantaneously die when that car goes from an obscene speed to zero.
To nothing.
Yeah. Because a lot of the time, it would, the stoppage would just kill them. F1's a really dangerous sport.
It's
a
like those little
really,
neck
like,
pillows at the airplane.
Side tangent. They fairly recently got this ring device, and it looks like it does absolutely nothing, but somehow it has saved. Well, not somehow. When the car flips over, it saves their life by adding something that gets crushed instead of them.
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's really cool
It's
stuff.
like crunch points on any.
No, it doesn't. Sorry, it doesn't crunch. It makes contact, so they don't have to. It's actually very rigid.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool stuff. But yes, for lack of a better term, Space Marines have those massive head and neck devices.
Oh, so it's more like a roll cage. Weird.
Yeah, about as light as you can make a roll cage anyway, because that's what matters in
That's
F1.
what matters in F1. It's just like go as fast as possible. This thing weighs like 2 pounds. I could lift it myself.
Exactly. Space Marines don't worry about weight reduction. It does not matter in the least. The reason I'm mentioning this oddly specific tidbit about their armor is because, for the most part, it leads to really weird designs sometimes. Like, there's a lot of portraits of Primarchs where they look small until you zoom out and you're like, oh dear, he's massive. His head just
He's
looks tiny in
massive.
that enclosure. The Space Sharks kind of made it work better than anyone else I've ever seen.
Oh, we
Because
know
what
they're
they've
massive.
done is, or at least a lot of the art for them has made that those two U's, they've put shark teeth all over them.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Cute.
And so you know when a shark is breaching water and it's got its maw wide open, it looks like it's a Space Marine staring at you from the jaws of an open shark.
I love that.
And it looks
That's
so
so
I love
cute.
that.
it looks so cool. They have all kinds of other scrimshawed stuff on them too. I think they actually have shark teeth too. I'm not sure how you'd get them that far away from everything, but
Do they have just one weird water world out there in the void?
no, they only have
No?
one world that they kind of We'll get to that. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. But yeah, so a lot of their stuff has that going
I
on.
love
A lot of art has it. My
him.
favorite piece of art for them is actually that massive fellow who will not be named this episode.
They're not
He's
naming
being
him.
typed though, and he's looming over somebody with those claws I mentioned, ready. And the way his body is twisted, it looks like he's lunging at you. I'll make sure you put that piece up. It's really cool. It's not just a shark look either that they go for. In combat, they do circle their prey and observe them slowly, trying to find all the weak points and then just going in.
They really are just sharks.
Yeah. One of my
They're
favorite
just
scenes of them has
sharks.
them, I believe, flying very, very, very close to a sun to hide in the solar flares as they're going about.
Oh, that's why their stealth variants are painted bright orange. It's to blend in with the sun.
I named him already. That's Tyberos in his upscale Terminator armor. Ooh. Sakana's gonna be a Karakadan apothecary. Yeah. He's talking about Terminator armor. Regular Space Marine armor doesn't have the back of the head edition. The Space Sharks, despite being Marines who have to scavenge for tech and recruits, they have 3 of the second most advanced Dreadnought patterns. The Leviathan, which is a Heresy era pattern. Ooh. Need a Venus flytrap design version now. Carcharodon. Thank you, Ilian. Thank you. Carcharodon.
You found a reason. Let's go with that. When they fight, they do
Carcharodon.
complete silence. I'm not joking. They do communicate because you have to communicate orders, but it's over a very encrypted channel, and it's not a lot. It's not, how are you doing? It's, we need you to move here.
I mean, to be fair, I don't think
He
I've
was
ever
too
heard
big
a
for
shark
regular
speak
armor.
during a feeding frenzy.
Yeah, pretty much. They keep it stum. These guys keep it stum too. They also have, their psychers are really on the nose. They can instill a crushing fear of the depths, for lack of a better term, into somebody. And so
Thalassophobia.
when you're fighting them, you would just hear somebody howl like they're being drowned. And
Ooh.
if that's not bad enough, a real shark mouth can just appear beneath them and take them away. Because their psychers can do that too. I love how hard they've leaned into this gimmick.
No,
Really,
you
really,
have
really
that?
leaned
Oh,
into it.
sorry,
I love
AJ.
it,
I'll
I love
save
it,
you.
I love it. Another canon-ish. This one dubious at best.
AJ, don't worry. The only thing hiding in the depths is me. And I'm not scary. Unless I want to be. They have the best themed magic. That's so cute.
They can get hit with this battle blindness kind of a situation where it's like, because when sharks attack, they roll their eyes back and expose this cartilage thing. If you can't tell, I was a Shark Week kid. They roll their eyes back to, God, yeah, this is going to be a shark episode, to protect them. And there's this bit of cartilage that gets exposed. Really neat stuff. You can sucker punch it in the face all you want. It's not going to hurt its eyes. However, completely blind. And so that's kind of the trade-off they make. And the way they did that for the Space Sharks, again, canon-ish, this one I couldn't find hard sources for, is occasionally they'll get caught up in the frenzy and just become this hazard for friend or foe. It's
Just
almost
like
like they can't
Oh.
see what's going on.
Swinging wildly, I can't see anything.
Yeah, I love it.
Stay away
it.
from
And
me.
That's also part of the World Eater stuff because it's World Eaters do
Of
that.
course, the World Eaters do that.
You see
These
why
are the
it's,
people who madly scream blood for the blood god.
you see why it's hard to find somebody to put this 1,000 years of child support bill to. It's pretty difficult. And
Wait, they have a megalodon as a pet? Who keeps a megalodon as a pet? How do you have the space? Do the space sharks like swimming? Are there little pools and stuff in their little ships? Hi, Sorrow. If I were ever asked by an orc which git would give the best fight, this would be the first guy I'd point towards.
on top of that, they don't spare anything or anyone, really. They are hunters out in the void, meaning they don't get resupplies often. So they've gotten very good at scavenging. It's become part of their standard issue procedure. It's not an intimidation tactic like the silence or the violence. This is just something they've learned to do because you need to.
Just like, I need food. If I don't get food from doing this, I will not be able to eat for the next 9
Anything
months.
that can be repurposed,
He's
or
hungry.
even can't be, they will take.
The
and use
lower
it to
levels of their
mend
battle
what they
bars are
have
flooded.
because they use
Ooh.
stuff that is actually 10,000 years old because of the ease of use and modularity. So they will often just strip battlefields clean and then stash whatever they can't use for later. Everything they
The ships are the size of cities, but aren't megalodons like huge? It's not just a shark, it's a megalodon. I hope they tell the story of how they tortured and captured Jakari. Yes, hi, Sorrow, I saw. I'm not tasty.
can use, they will immediately put to use, which is also why their armor is.
Bye, Sierra.
It looks like heresy stuff, but that's not quite right. And their ship
That's not quite
looks
right.
old, but not quite right either.
It's been Ship of Theseus to modern spec.
Yeah, and it's everything in their armory too. If they were a modern day army, they would be in land cruisers with AKs. Because they work, and we know how to fix them, and we've known how to fix them. That would be the
Megalodons
space
aren't
sharks.
hundreds of
It's
yards
just the
long.
they're
Aren't they?
Literally just perfect guerrilla warfare. They know what they need to do.
Raven Guard allegations.
Raven Guard allegations.
You see where it comes from.
Yeah.
How big is a
They-
megalodon?
However, there is a point where you can't fix something. You know, everything has an expected lifespan, from people to objects, and you can prolong it through meticulous maintenance, like going to the gym every day. But however, there is a day that you'll croak. That's just how that works. And so whenever that does happen, they have the ability to levy tithes to get the job done,
Oh, they're
to
not that
replenish
big.
what they can.
Megalodon's maximum length were 80 feet. Oh. What the heck? What am I thinking of? Why am I thinking megalodons are giant? I think I'm thinking of that Megalodon movie a couple years ago where there was like a super big one. That's pretty big, but I don't know why I was thinking they were huge. I don't know why I was thinking they were freaking massive. Crazy. The movie The Meg, how big was the Megalodon? In the movie The Meg. Oh, still only 90 feet. Bro. Wait, no, there were some over 100 feet. Okay. The movie's called The Meg. It was about a megalodons. Okay, hold on. Sidetrack. The movie The Meg, yes, Meg, M-E-G, was about megalodons are still alive. They were just trapped under the ocean in like this really hot part of the ocean that was like sectioned off from the rest of the ocean, and then an earthquake happened and it opened that up and the megalodons were let back into the rest of the ocean and they were huge and giant and starving. Yeah. 80 feet is huge. Yeah, I know it's huge, but I don't know why I thought they were freaking giant. I thought they were like huge. Yeah. Okay.
Cannot
Anyways.
fix anymore or get out in the void. There's two of them. The red.
Why does he
tide
have
is
Mako
as
on
bad
him?
as it sounds. They and I'm going to specifically use the word harvest here. Entire populations to be used as either forced labor or initiates who fight it out to see who becomes the next space shark. It's really brutal stuff. At its worst, it's been recorded entire generations have disappeared. It's 40k still sucks, baby. You get to choose your flavor. Do you want
This is the red tide?
and shark themed? Yeah, it still kind of blows. You still wouldn't want to live there. You still wouldn't want to meet them in a dark alley. It's a thing.
It's still bad.
Yeah, they can do this anywhere, basically, so long as nobody else is using them. So if that planet's already slated by Gilliman for Ultramarines, they can't just roll up and say Red Tithe, because no. But it is a power they have.
They
So
just
can roll up to,
find
let's
a
say,
planet.
backwards worlds that haven't been given a full duty yet and go, do you pay the smothering tithe? And if not,
God, I hate the smothering.
I had to throw that in just to spite you. They will occasionally, can you tell what's in my deck? They will also occasionally, he's paid that a lot. They will also do the same to prison worlds where, because
I don't know if you're really understanding how large 80 feet is. And not only that, they were wide AF. No, I'm just saying, I don't know why I thought they were like hundreds of feet big. 80 feet is still big. But for some reason, my mind was like, regular sharks can be 80 feet and megalodons are huge. And they can be so giant. The Red Tithe is the main focus of one of their books. The Carcharodons raid a prison planet for recruits and slaves and gank a bunch of Night Lords in the process. Oh. They aren't bigger than a multi-mile long ship. Yeah. Yeah.
the Imperium has prison worlds where they're like stamping out license plates, basically. Those don't count. But the ones where they're just kind of loitering around.
I would figure. I mean, Earth has
80
an
feet's
Australia
like-
now.
Don't spite them. I like Australians.
I like Australians too.
10 of
They've come
me.
so far.
They've come so far. They've been doing fine.
No.
they,
Yeah.
they've been doing just fine for themselves. Thank you very much.
No, I'm not good at math. Whatever. That's a lot.
But if the prison world doesn't have a hard use, they can walk up and say, "Do you pay the smothering tithe?" And that's it. They can just take them away in the night, and they will be used for everything they are worth to the space sharks before
They
they're
don't waste
completely
anything.
thrown away.
Yay.
Not kind. The Grey Tithe is a little bit better, I won't lie. Because, like I said, they pick up all kinds of stuff. Some of it they can't use, right? The Mechanicus can, though. And so they have a Grey Tithe of the Mechanicus where they go, we got this stuff. You got
fix
stuff.
it.
No. You can take this ancient stuff that we frankly don't want or, like, need. Like, we have a receipt printer from 2008, and the Mechanicus goes, glorious! We'll give you all the guns you want. And it's a pretty sweet deal. The Mechanicus gets to learn and reverse engineer stuff, and they get the stuff they need to continue hunting.
No, knowing the
They're
Mechanicus is more
traitors!
Just like, I have this Arby's receipt from 2008. Do you want it? And the Mechanicus is just like, a great item to add to my spank bank.
And that's God,
Thank thing.
you and mental flashbangs. That's pretty much exactly how it works with them and the Mechanicus. It's a really kind of fair deal on that one, is at least. If things get very, very dire, they have a treaty set up with this rogue faction of Space Marines. Rogue Space Marines are ones who have not gone full villain. Don't like the Emperor, though. So they're kind of off doing their own thing.
If you're a
There's
Star
out
Wars
there.
fan, think the Grey Jedi.
Exactly.
That are technically not canon anymore, but you know what? Thank you, company I shall not mention.
So they will go up to these, now you almost made me call them gray, but these rogue Space Marines, and they will trade for whatever they need, weapons, recruits, armor, but they really only do this when they have to, because it's really dicey working with them. Because best case scenario, it's a raw deal. Worst case scenario, violence ensues.
Okay, so never mind. It's more like summoning a purple spirit in Dark Souls.
Yeah.
Okay.
However, it's all singularly focused. They don't have any side stuff going on, really.
No sides. They're
Fight
loyal.
in the dark against the things that we rather not think about every day. That's all they do. This has given them very few stories. However, what they do have is really good. Like, my favorite one is they captured this Dark Eldar, and for those of you that don't know,
Oh, they're talking about
Dark
it.
Eldar are just elves. Let me finish. They're elves who stave off death by being as depraved as you can get. What you say is violating the Geneva Conventions. They call foreplay. Yeah.
Like you call crimes against humanity, they call a good Saturday night.
Yeah. How do you get information out of a person like that? Because
Oh, they'd love
torture for
Grimworld.
them, they're kind of waiting for it. They're laying into. They do it, please do it. I've done worse on Tuesdays.
The bone saw. How very pedestrian of you.
So you know what the space sharks did? Locked him in a room with nothing.
Oh, got
They gave
him.
the padded rooms straitjacket treatment.
This guy was pretty solid though. So he kept hurling insults through the door, just keeping himself entertained by doing that and taunting them for ages, because most captors will come in and beat the brakes off you for that. And he's like, please
Do it.
yeah, do it. So they upped the ante and stopped cleaning the room altogether, and they stopped sending people in to give food. So they just left him with a bucket in the corner, and food would just slide in, and the plates would never get taken out. He never got to see any other person, with the only thing for entertainment being a painting on the door that says, "Knock when you're ready to talk."
Oh, that's cute.
This poor Eldar tries, which is sentence. This Eldar tries composing poetry, or even just basking in the memories of when he had freedom, which are, again, memories to him, trauma to others. That's how it works for them. However, nothing would work, because what is an artist without an audience? And these blank walls don't care less. On top of all of that, it's kind of hard to compose poetry when you know that bucket is getting fuller every day. And they haven't been here for a while. What happens then? That's where he's left. And so it's a pretty raw deal. Thankfully, this Eldar realized something. He's hot.
Huh?
Like all fictional elves. They're always stupendously hot. That's how they work.
Hot elves.
And even though they stripped him of his armor and his clothes and his claws, he was still absolutely striking. If he could get them to open the door, surely they'd realize the sheer specimen before them, completely gorgeous in every way and brilliant too, and completely lay down their weapons. Forget about that emperor and begin serving me in all my glory.
I'm
He
so
tried to
hot you'll
charisma
forget
check
your god.
Confirmed bachelor them. Confirmed bachelor additional dialogue option.
So yeah, and he knocked on the door and waited in the buff, smiling like a king eager to meet his new subjects. And I mean like head tilted slightly up, because, you know, royalty doesn't look at the peasantry in the eyes, you know, which is a
He
fantastic.
was hitting the lean against the wall, just like, hey, legs spread wide.
Kinda, yeah. The good thing is, because he was looking away from them, he didn't get to make eye contact with the only thing that came through the door, a massive fire hose, which they then this is a fire hose with a force to slam him against the wall, and just all
I
the
love this.
debris that came from him living in this room was just swirled around, baby. And then they shut the door on him.
They made Dookie Eldar soup.
Yeah, and then they shut the door on him. I love this guy's arrogance though, because before they shut the door, I love his arrogance because he gets up and he goes, "Oh, if you wanted to clean the room, there's better ways to do it. Come on, guys." And I'm not joking, the space sharks there could not care less.
Just shut the door.
I'm talking
Don't care,
even
brother.
a tinge of
Bye.
frustration, just stone cold. They may as well have been statues.
Nothing to
he
do
hasn't
with
heard a
me.
word in days, and so they just slammed the door shut on him.
And he's there, stuck
And he's
with
left alone.
And wet.
soaking wet
And cold.
in a puddle of Dookie Eldar soup.
Well, to be fair, it was a very powerful hose. It genuinely did kind of clean the room. So, you know, slight positives. Downside is there is something really off about this ship, because ships make noise. Machines whir. You can hear vents. Cars make noise, for God's sake. Ships definitely make a lot of noise. This one doesn't. It's
Oh, that's
completely
rough.
silent, and Eldar have pretty solid hearing. He should have been able to hear two of their heartbeats in each of their chests going, you know, because Space Marines have two hearts. They're off rhythm. You should've-
Not a
didn't hear
single thing. It's like literally those sensory deprivation rooms. What is that? Isn't there like a room where it's like so quiet and you're like, they give you like $100 if you can stay in there for an hour or something, and people usually can't stay in there. That's basically what they did to him, and I love it. Perfect torture, yup. Hell for a Dark Eldar, yup. God his ass.
Meaning, it's entirely possible they induced short-term cardiac arrest to fuck with this guy.
That's the kind of level I want to be on.
It's either that, or they're very good at keeping it quiet. I'm not sure which.
Or like, F this guy, I'm gonna stomp my heart and freaking hose him down. Hose him down. Germa, you're late with the frick girly pop. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So petty.
Yep. The
I
shit
love
is
the petty.
pin drop silent. He's not even sure if they're still moving. I love them. Do you see why? And do you see like the Night Lord kind of, oh, I know how to break you.
They put so much effort into making sure, okay, what would a Dark Eldar hate? 0 stimulation.
Yeah. And
Not
so
at
they do
all.
that. It's just nothing at all. There is no surprise. There's no nothing. He tries over and over again, like he tries to be coy and stuff, and it never works. They just firm it every time. Though eventually he does think he makes some progress, because they do take him to a different room, they strap him to this chair, and he's like, "Oh, thank God, finally the torture begins. Jesus, I've been waiting forever. Let's get to it." And it's like a collared chair and everything. So he's expecting the whole 9 yards in this domed room, and then they leave.
Oh.
And as they leave, the shutters begin to open, and he's left wondering, they're not just going to show me the raw warp, are they? Are they? And as it opens, he sees something far worse. The night sky.
Oh, but the night sky
With no
outside of the
stars.
galaxy,
Facing away from the Milky Way.
the empty.
There's
Nothing.
not a star to be seen. What's described as coming out of the room starts as laughter and ends as crying. It's so amusing to me.
That's a brutal.
Yeah. They
Rough,
play.
brother.
They're so much fun. They're so much fun. It is not all sunshine and rainbows, though.
Well, quite obviously.
Yeah, it's obvious to see why they're so popular. They do have some cons, though. First and foremost, if you are not like me and looked forward to Shark Week every year on Discovery, they may not appeal to you. I get that. It's not everyone's vibe. That's fully fair. If also you don't like just, like oceanic vibes, kind of the Polynesian aesthetic they have going on nowadays.
Or you're like extremely thalassophobic.
Yeah, exactly. Which, to be fair, I don't know how they didn't have that theme before. It makes so much sense. It's one of those things that give that guy a bonus. That was brilliant. But if that's not your thing, that they're not really going to.
The Abyss wouldn't even stare back at him.
Do what the tin says.
They are space sharks.
Yeah. They also have this habit of being hated specifically by Eldar players, but generally by alien players, because when they join a story, they have Ultramarine syndrome of spotlight on me now. I'm going to jobber everything that's around me. Thank you very much. And I get it. If you're not into that, it kind of sucks. Like, oh, yay, the Eldar are being mad. Oh, nope, here are the space sharks. And they've locked him in a room now. Yay.
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 So that's kind of, those are the cons to them. However, I am curious, now that you know the pros and the cons, what do you think?
I kind of like them.
I like them.
a
I
lot.
like them.
I have extreme thalassophobia, but also I still really, really, really like the theming. Like they're just like terror on an unknown level.
I
And
like
also
'em.
The continuing theme of like sharks in space, especially with using the depths of the abyss, the space abyss instead of the ocean abyss, to terrify people. Just it makes sense.
And I love the way they walk around and just cast pocket thalassophobia at people. You weren't afraid of water? Now you are. Sucks to suck. I love it so much. That does wrap up our episode today on the Space Sharks. We will see you next week for the Patreon episode.
They're gonna
Maybe
see
watch
us
the
next
chart
week.
and the
Wow.
following week for whoever wins.
Street Sharks.
Woo!
I said Street Sharks. I stand by it.
Street Sharks.
If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't.
Did they
Do you
get
not
like
know the Street Sharks?
no?
Those
What?
are my guys.
Wait, hold on. It's a 90s toy line. You don't remember this? Well, I don't think it's the 90s even. I think it's older, but it's like original Transformers era.
New
No.
sharks.
You don't know the Street. Wait, are you serious?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought that would be a ubiquitous reference.
I'm sorry. No.
Well, okay. Well, yeah.
Other people might get it, but not me.
Other people will get it. They'll be shocked that you didn't get it. Frankly, I don't know how.
I entirely realize I'm the weirdo here.
Okay. Well, yeah, but you can reference IKEA plushies by their hex code. That's like those people who have very specific, like, oh yeah, Lego type, and then they just give you this thing and you look it up and it's like, oh, that's a cutting insult. It's like
Space
that
Sharks are
level.
getting a cosmetic
You
pack.
don't know about the
Yay! I
No,
can't wait.
Don't. I didn't.
I want the
Somehow-
fin.
you know what?
I
But I
want the
don't know
fin
about the
hat.
Street Sharks.
The
It's
fin
fine.
helmet.
It's okay. We all have our blind spots. Thank you guys for watching this episode, and thank you for the plaque that we just got in the mail recently. There's going to be some B-roll up right now, and none of that will be possible.
Yay!
without you.
Congrats!
We are figuring out
Congrats,
where to put it in
guys!
the studio, but it will be visible somewhere soon.
Beautiful.
The studio will be going through some changes sometime.
Love
soon. Within the
it.
next couple of months, very soon.
Soon,
And we'll have a space for it because, you know,
They did it. Okay, what do I think of the Space Sharks? There's no fin? Gosh dang it. I want the fin. Why can't we have a fin? Okay, AJ said to watch this. Okay, AJ.
Try and get it in one take, but we probably won't. I hope y'all enjoyed. This is the full version, by the way. Stay tuned. It is the 41st millennium.
Oh.
For more than 100 centuries, the Emperor of Mankind has sat immobile on the golden throne of Earth.
I can feel the bass in my heart.
He is the master of mankind by the will of the gods, and master of 1,000,000 worlds by the might of his inexhaustible armies. He is a rotting carcass, writhing invisibly with power from the dark age of technology. He is the carrion lord of the vast imperium of man, for whom 1,000 souls are sacrificed every day, so that he may never truly die. Yet, even in his deathless state, the Emperor continues his eternal vigilance. Mighty battle fleets cross the demon-infested miasma of the warp, the only route between distant stars. Their ways lit by the Astronomicon, the psychic manifestation of the Emperor's will. Vast armies give battle in his name on uncounted worlds.
I'm feeling
Greatest
this.
amongst his soldiers are the Adeptus Astartes, the Space Marines. Bio-engineered super warriors. Their comrades in arms are Legion of the Imperial Guard and countless planetary defense forces. The ever-vigilant Inquisition and the tech priest of the Adeptus Mechanicus, to name only a few.
Princess of Naples.
But for all their multitude, they are barely enough to hold off the ever-present threat to humanity from the aliens, heretics, mutants,
Yeah, his voice is so good.
and far, far worse. To be a man in such times is to be one amongst untold billions. It is to live in the cruelest and most bloody regime imaginable.
Regime. I can't even go that low.
These are the tales of those times. Forget the power, the technology, and science. For so much more has been forgotten, never to be relearned. Forget the promise of progress and understanding.
$K works.
Future, there is only war. There is no peace amongst the stars. Only an eternity of carnage and slaughter, and the laughter of thirsting gods.
Ooh. Oh, the laugh! Ooh. Okay, you said the Remembrancer has a 7-minute video on Tyberos. Seven minutes. Okay. Kinda deep voice went in the grim dark. Okay.
Tyberos the Red Wing.
Tyberos.
Reaper of the Void. Master of the Carcharodon.
Big
Act.
shark.
Even seated, he seemed to dwarf those around him. Utterly immovable. A vast, silent judge whose pronouncements were always final. The armor he wore was a tactical dreadnought pattern, but heavily modified to suit his stature. Dozens of brass bonding studs
That's why he
gleamed
was as
atop
big as a
slab
dreadnought.
grey ceramite, layered over blocks of plasteel reinforced with rods of adamantium. A skull, the bone yellowing and ancient, dangled from a chain at the giant's waist. Its eye sockets as dead and soulless as the black lenses of the Redwake's boar-snouted helm. More terrible yet were the two great gauntlets he wore, named Hunger and Slake, the ancient fists combined wicked
He
power
named his
talons
gauntlets?
with twin-linked underbite chain blades. The carnage they could unleash had to be seen to be believed. The entire suit of ancient battleplate, throbbed with the vast power necessary to keep its fixed servo bundles active, and the very air around Shah felt alive with the potency of the supreme predator seated before him. The Red Wake was not alone. The two Red Brethren flanked his throne, their armor heavily inscribed with exile markings. Another two Carcharodons stood slightly to one side, observing Shah's approach. One, the Reaper Prime knew well, the chapter's chief librarian, the Pale Nomad, Te Kahurangi. The other was Kuari, Te Kahurangi's Lexicanium apprentice. Shah halted before the Red Wake's throne and went down on one knee. Ceramite scraping bedrock, he stayed there, head down, until Tyberos spoke.
Tyberos.
Rise. The voice that issued from the helm's voice unit was at odds with the figure it belonged to. Dry, rasping, dead. It was a voice that sounded as though it issued from an ancient administratum savant or data scribe, bent double and weary with a lifetime's toil. Tyberos the Red Wake served as the Shade Lord of the Carcharodon's chapter during the era Indomitus. Gigantic in form, even for a space marine, this mysterious nightmare of the Adeptus Astartes is a fitting chapter master for such a terrifying band of warriors. Infamous for his involvement during the Badab War against the tyrannical master of the Astral Claws, Luft Huron, during 910.M41, the Carcharodons with the Red Wake at their spear tip emerged from the Golgothan wastes with alarming speed. Ill-regarded by their allies, the Carcharodon Astra-regardless acceded to the seniority of Lord Commander Karab Kuln, presenting ancient documents of the Notice's patent as proof of their allegiance to the High Lords of Terror. Aiding the prosecution of the Renegade Space Marine chapters, these killers of the Outer Void culled the Mantis Warriors chapter of Astartes with grim efficiency. The claws of Tyberos, epitomizing the single most savage engagements fought during the entirety of of the grueling war. Always at the forefront of his elite Terminator command squad, the Red Wake's dull grey tactical
He's
dreadnought
so
armor
big.
proved an ill omen for any who beheld it. For even those allied to his cause bore witness to slaughter, which made even venerated Astartes wince with disgust. The hulking mass of layered plasteel reinforcement plates and adamantium rods fitted to his panoply. None know the age of this ancient suit of armor, nor the inhabitant whose body has never been seen outside its protection. The rare occasions where he removes his helmet, never an occasion to celebrate. The corpse-white pallor of bone and flesh is further embellished with depthless black eyes and a lipless grin of bared teeth. Speaking only in soft whispers, alike to his brethren who communicate near silently
Jason
in
Momoa
battle,
cannot play him.
Tyberos presides over his fell strike cruiser, the Nikor, as he orchestrates the chapter's campaigns. His infamous power fists, known as Hunger and Slake, derived from an unknown pattern configuration. The underbite chain blades fitted to their construction allows Tyberos to rend the enemies of the Imperium into ribbons as he leads his first company, the Red Brethren, into the fray. Said to have been won by Tyberos in a duel of honor against the renegade Ashen Claws chapter master, Nehat Neve. Their regular trades for recruits and technology are forever soured by Tyberos's bloody work. The power necessary to function his Goliath stature, requiring extensive modifications. Such toil, nonetheless, has proven invaluable, as Tyberos's killing sprees leave naught but mangled corpses in his red wake. As at last they reached the end of the shadowed processional in silence, they were confronted by another great fanged iris, this one circled by the skulls of beasts and Xenos forms. It began to flex and scream open at their approach, and all but the dauntless Space Marines and the indefatigable form of Montressa's master could not help but shy warily back. Wet black steam hissed from the opened aperture, and a hulking form materialized from the darkness. A Space Marine in Terminator armor, whose grey livery faded from the umbra of a darkened thunderhead to the deathly pallor of a winter mist. The armor itself unlike anything Montressa had seen, except in faded chronicles of forbidden history. The figure was huge, even for a Space Marine so raimented, and as its armored foot hammered onto the gantry like a bell strike, the fire angels accompanying them fell into battle stance. Coldly focusing on his sworn task, despite the shadow of death he felt looming over him, Montressa logged the image of the Terminator and translated the armorial wording he saw there. The dialect was old, a sub-tongue of High Gothic he traced to the solar court of the early 33rd millennium. Tyberos, it read, of the Red Wake. Quickly, he signaled this information to his master's Vox implant. Legate Inquisitor Jarndis Frayne stood before the hulking figure as if daring death to strike him down, and raising high the scepter, touched by the hands of the High Lords of Terror themselves. With sudden and unexpected grace, the massive Terminator slid to his knees before the black Cossack man, who was but a fraction of his size. Armored gauntlets went to the Terminator's helm, and the fastenings hissed open, amber light dying in the helm's optic lenses. The scarred face that was revealed was sharp-visaged and waxen, deathly white, the eyes as fathomless and pitiless a black as the dark between the stars. "Hail the Emperor," the Carcharodon whispered, through rows of ivory teeth.
Tyberos is almost certainly the largest living Space Marine. He's the biggest! He's the largest! He's huge! I love him. That was great, guys! You were all correct. I love the space sharks. Carcharodons. We did have some videos from last week that we didn't get to watch. So we can watch them this week. Hold on, I lost something. Okay, so this is Astartes 8K. This is the one you were telling me to watch, right? That I haven't. Let's see it now. Oh, Don't full size it. Ooh, highest K. The Ragosa uprising have been checked. Retributor Astartes now assists the hunt for fleeing leaders of the rebellion. Okay. Continue. Okay. Ooh. It's like I'm flying. Oh, we're gonna frick this? Oh my god. We just went right in. Whose ship is this? Oof. Oh! Oh! Who's this guy? Oh, a sniper, a sniper. Oh! Ah! Ew! That was half a guy! Whoa, they shot through their own dudes. Wow. They're skittering, they're skittering! Ooh, they're fast. crazy. What's in this? A ball. He's a beaky. He has a beak. Huge man. The ball is angry. Biggie! Engross. Sorry. I was engrossed. Oh. Caught his ass. What the? Magnetized ball! Eating them! No, the ball's eating them. They're in ball world. Oh, where are we? Ah! That's it! That's crazy! That was wild. I actually did watch the secret level episode of 40K. I watched it after we finished the 40K campaign. It was good. Episode 2 is coming soon. I like it. I like it. I like it. Trailer time. Oh, there's a trailer! You're right. Hold on. There's a trailer. Many brotherhoods united in purpose. We are the shield that slays. Slay. Orcs! Orcs! Oh. Wow. That was a lot of different. That was a year ago. What the hell? That was a lot of different. Okay, these are the Iron Hands, right? They were in the first one, right? Who are these bumblebees? Bumblebees. Black and yellow, black and yellow. Oh, they were a homebrew chapter. Okay, those are scythes. Orcs. Blood angels. Are these raptors? What are these? What are these? Sides of the Emperors, okay. Angels Vermilion. Oh, not Blood Angels. Angels Vermilion, okay. Sons of Medusa, okay. Sides of the Emperor. Who's this guy? Who's this guy? Retributors, Emperor's Scythe, Angels Vermilion, Sons of Medusa, and Mortifactors. Mortifactors. Got it. So, okay. Well, I haven't learned any of them, so that makes sense that I didn't know them. Not the Morty. That makes sense. That makes sense. Hi, Shell. Wow. This is so cool. When is soon? When is soon? What the heck? This came out a year ago. When? When? Give me now! Soon? When soon? The heck? I want it now. Anyways. We learned... This year, really? Yes. We learned about the space sharks. We learned about the Raven Guards. We saw some Astartes. We saw a little bit more into the Space Marine faction. Dude, we've been waiting for years. That's why I don't like to get into new things. I don't like the waiting aspect. This stream was good. Ha ha ha. I only saw 20 minutes. Fake. Germ is fake. Yeah, this is the last stream of the week. If you didn't see the schedule, I have to go do school stuff this weekend. Ooh. But I'll be back next week. We'll be back for a CraftCona. I think actually it should be arriving before I leave. Before I leave, the orc truck should be arriving. Yay! Thank you again, Ilian, for that. So next week we might do that on CraftCona. Or we might craft something else. I might make some little mushroom stuff for my orcs. I don't know. Also, if you didn't know, freaking my orc building stream got demonetized on YouTube because apparently the royalty-free lo-fi wasn't royalty-free anymore. There were like 4 of them that weren't royalty-free. Freaking sucks. Hate that. So maybe I won't craft on YouTube anymore. We'll just craft on Twitch. Bro, F school. Hey, I need my degree. I gotta be a doctor. Okay. So yeah. Thank you for hanging out today. Next week, we're gonna learn about orcs. No poll. Forget democracy. Forget it. I'm building orcs. We're learning about orcs. Send me the best orc videos to react to for next week. We're watching orcs. Okay? Okay. Thank you, YouTube. Thank you, everybody. I'm gonna try and fix the freaking video, the freaking orc video yesterday, so hopefully we get in there. But yeah. Orcs can't spell democracy. Exactly. Orcs, orcs, orcs. Thank you, YouTube. I will see you next time. Bye, YouTube. Bye. And for Twitcheroni, we are going to raid my wife. It's a raid message. It's a second raid message. Thank you, Hecka. Watch the VODs. Watch the shorts coming out. And I'll see you when I see you, if I see you. Bye, everybody. Bye. Welcome to Fishies. Kai Slana. Thank you for the sub QQ my shorts. Thanks for the bits Atimo. Welcome into the YouTube family, Charles Olson and Stephen Emery. Thank you to our YouTube member, Big E. Bye Atimo, bye Ilian. Bye Cal, bye Shell, bye Germa, bye The Weakling. Bye Barzan G, bye Alan. Bye AJ, bye Jam, bye Nota Bird.